through. This extra annihilation to LKYJ could be enough. I think if TKO pull every single ultimate that they have right now, they can still hold on. But they lose the tank, they trade it for Ghost. Currently, though, 4 alive for TKO with respawn advantage.
Oh, good movement, very good DP as well. Saka maybe about to get that kill. Pebo staying alive, trying to zone, using the speed ring here just to break the ankles a bit of Stuck. And yeah, this is going to be a hold. 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the Last Chance Qualifier. This is Road to EWC. Still currently in our first series of the day in Group A. I believe it is a 1-to-1 series so far. Invaders ended up full holding up against TKO on Circuit Royale. That means our next map is going to be New Junk City.
And New Junk City, I mean, a flashpoint, obviously. And also pretty interesting because these teams, like we said, they played yesterday. I believe also one of the maps they played since we played the flag. Yeah, it was New Junk City for them, and Invaders kind of dominated that run, right? They did get a map, they did get a point rather for TKO, but TKO been looking a lot better in this series, so maybe we can bring something to the fore again. The Venture, I mean, it's been working out really good for them. The Diva play, so they have been pulling out some pretty interesting looks here so far. And Invaders obviously bringing it back there for the Circuit Royale. Royale just looking a lot better with the Ram comp, using a lot more of the hard hit scan, but maybe can close the distance a bit, because it seems like that's what TKO is specializing in right now, is just playing a really rush divey sort of style.
And we saw the 4K on Soj from Snowfall in that last map as well on the attacking side, and on the defensive side, more rails to come through, more Soj gameplay to come through, is shutting down that Venture plus Echo kind of look that was pulled through from TKO, which they struggled to really push through, and they struggled to be able to really make any gains on that A point, outranged completely. So New Junk City as our map number 3, a map that you, as mentioned, brought up, that we did play yesterday, where, you talked about the bans here. Venture BAP was a 3-1. This time around, Diva Soj going to be banned away, which I think if you looked at how Invaders played that one, probably not too surprising, considering Snowfall.
Yeah, I think that's really smart bans. For both teams, I'm pretty confident with both those bans. I think these are good bans for them both. I mean, they're definitely favoring a lot of the longer range hit scan, the harder hit scan for Invaders, and also conversely for TKO, they have been loving to put LYKJ on the Diva, right? And play very fast, play it very aggressive, use the Diva as kind of like a fat DPS to just roll over those teams. And I do think those are very good bans. As we are here into the map, New Junk City. And more than likely gonna be Ram. I imagine most of this time. Yeah, I do see that. I'm seeing that.
Return of the Gengu coming through as well. Again, a big look yesterday, specifically on New Junk City against Zeta Division. Snowfall back on Cass, and obviously the Cass would be doing quite a bit of work against LKYJ if he was on the Orisa. Might still do a reasonable amount of work against the Ram, unless he's holding his block. And the Sim is going to be committed by Triple O. Okay, so we're going to get in the Sim matchup here as well.
And Sim May, I mean, we talked about it yesterday a bit, and we talked about it previously, but Sim, such a meta-defining hero right now if you can play it, and it was banned in the first map of the series. Invaders did ban the Symmetra, so now it's coming out. Maybe TKO do have a bit of a pocket pick here on the Sim with Triple O, as, okay, Pebo goes down, though, gets caught. Snowfall going to collect that elim. So already Invaders up, one player here looking to chase, but TKO, they can just back out. They can back on out, they can look to maybe recontest.
I mean, I'm getting memory yesterday with Flora on the trace, just getting repeatedly sniped down by a cast on the opposite team. This is going to be both Suck and Triple O falling by. Ghost on his second. Now, LKYJ, not much more to say about that one. Invaders will clean up the first fight quite handedly. Opening kill onto Pebo, and then follow through on the rest of the 3.
And then, what you say, despite what you might say about Ghost in general with the Annihilations, Ghost is definitely very, very aggressive here, just picking up limbs left and right on the Ramatra. Feels very confident as Invaders playing this extremely aggressive style. And for TKO, if they're going to stay on the Sim, we need to be seeing a little bit more motion, It's what you're saying to your friends out there. It's like, yeah, you got motion. Right now, TKO, I need to see the motion. I need to see this motion. I need to see a lot more limbs. But right now, I mean, Zoc diving on in. There's going to be the dash to everyone, taking down the squishies. And Invaders, very fast fight.
Talk about that one for motion. No oceans nearby New Junk City, unfortunately. But for Invaders, that'll basically be it. TKO have not really much else to play through. There'll be one more fight, especially with the Sim. They'll be able to TP themselves about 5 meters in front of themselves, and Blizz is really the only thing to talk about here from the TKO side. Don't worry, in 3 seconds that TP will be back online. All good.
Very, very casual shade to the TP to go out there, but I mean, very deserved. Perhaps Symbol is going to hold on to Blizzard. Snowfall looking for the flank here. The rotation is going to come up as TKO getting pressure here onto the point, hitting headshots.
Now Jake would say something about Dinkin again. He probably wouldn't be wrong. From headshots to Deadeye, Triple O falls, and TKO, nobody on here doing too much more. The Annihilation plus Rush is going to clean things up. A last minute Blizzard from Symbol. I'm hoping he's going to swap because that was not called for.
We'll have to take a look. Respawn's coming in. It's okay. Triple O going to the Venture. So they've had enough of the Sim. It seems like they. Oh wait. Okay. So they're just going to play Sim Venture. Okay. So Symbol goes over to the sim here, so maybe they still believe in the Symmetra, but maybe just not in their current lineup. I mean, Triple O has been in really good performance on the Venture so far this series. OWCS close to the annihilation.
Yep.
So we're Invaders. I mean, you look at this fight, Avril. I mean, this is a very good fight for them. It's really going to be dependent. Can LYKJ just come on in and just pop a really big annihilation early?
I mean, Ghost just completely dominated them. Dropped in a giant vortex on top of the team. Sack's going to clean up the rest of the players using Blade. And despite the annihilation for LKYJ, when you see a vortex onto 5 players in a small room, you know things are going to get rough for the receiving team. Now, LKYJ is going to pop off the Ram. No Diva to be played through because it's been banned through, and he's thinking, damn, what else I got left in tank? Time to go Zarya.
Rubs my eyes cartoonishly. Here's little squeaky noises. Zarya? Zarya here? Okay, well, I mean, I believe it. I mean, it's something that at least kind of fits here. Giving the bubble to Triple O to get these aggressive just commits. But now Invaders, I mean, they didn't have to use the Ray. So if they have the Ray, they can pop this Ray here for this fight. They do have this portal advantage, and that there's going to be Ray immediately here on the point, looking to burn down just any members of TKO. But okay, no one goes down just yet. Good bubble. Keep everyone alive. I think Pebo should go down. Stays alive. No one goes down just yet. Okay, finally. That's a big elim. Zintu is going to hold on to the Ray. They might want to commit if they're feeling it. I mean, they're feeling it.
Do they have enough here in the tank? Because it's 5 versus 4. Even with the Ray coming on through, TKO need to do some damage. They did find something here. Ghost is just going to chase down Triple O. Gives himself traded to symbol, but still, Invaders have a player advantage here. Snowfall still clicking heads. He popped the Deadeye through as well for a little bit of zoning. They're struggling to take LKYJ down, which is a little bit of a problem. He did go down to 1 HP a little bit earlier on. Pebo returning. Might be able to rally through here for a little bit more sustain for TKO. Given that TKO have point captured as well, it'll be worth them to play as much as they can onto point to get as much percentage as they can.
The LOS has been so good from TKO, and then Triple O into the back, finds Snowfall, rally still, giving the health on point. LYKJ, just LKYJ, I should say, still not going down. See, the Junkertown used for Triple O, putting more pressure here onto the top. I mean, the Avenger just consistently rotating here, putting so much pressure into the back line.
Ghost still trying to make this one work right now, but doesn't have any healing. Possessive, nobody to be found. Under pressure, massively from Triple O. And TKO, they just held on the entire time. They didn't actually let go of that fight at all, despite being at play disadvantage. I think they're going to cap on through. Ghost is too far away to contest. Invaders, no real point touching either. So TKO,
yeah, I mean, even if they can make the contest, they have nothing in the bank. They have nothing in the bank at all. There's going to be a grab available for LKYJ for the next fight. And really good LOS play there. Yeah, the Zarya just consistently rotating around the point, getting the heal, staying alive long enough for Pebo to make it back with the rally. So LKYJ, I mean, just feeling shades of Hanbin, feeling little shades of Hanbin in terms of the off tank. They're not really getting the Romacha or the Orisa, but I mean some very vanilla Overwatch.
I'm actually thinking more instead of Hanbin. I'm thinking he's quite max build, and I ain't talking about
max build. Yeah,
I'm talking about Max from Craig's Raccoon, who ironically Unter really dislikes, but probably because they both share the same name. And in Unter's life, he's thinking, you know what? There's only room for one Max out here, and my name's also Max, so it ain't gonna be the other guy. For Invaders now. Only 3 members left for TKO to clean up through. We talk all this good stuff about TKO staying alive on that last fight. That lasted a long time, but here in the opening for this next point, they're just completely wiped.
Well, you know who's not down? LKYJ, and gets an elim. Gets on out, does not use the grab. Snowfall definitely on the cast, looking very strong. And there's a lot of energy too for LKYJ. I mean, LKYJ can be kind of a threat here, do a lot of damage, walk on through. Bubbles available, looking for the grab, gonna get sped. That's you using the speed ring though. However, everyone just goes to the back. Okay, my backline, they disappeared to the Juno. And this is going to be kind of an issue, right? You're looking for the entry here, Avril. You're trying to use the speed ring to put your grab in place, your Zarya in place. It's a very big point.
That kill feed read right there kind of reminded me of a bit of Juno Stadium. That's where you normally see the Juno double kill come on through. That is such an early, you could say it's either a late kill or an early one of the LKYJ, but either way, it is not a good timing for TKO, as we're still yet to see the grab, and we're also resetting the Zarya energy here as well. It's about 80% now for Invaders, and if they start spawn camping, then TKO are going to struggle to even touch the point. They don't have any fast characters here. They don't have a Tracer. They have a Juno, but not the one you want to see. That's not who should be touching the point.
I mean, they have a Venture. So it's probably going to be Triple O. They're going to go for this contest. Still holding on to the grab, they're close to the support, so instead they're just saying, okay, nope, never even gonna bother going for it. Symbol making the swap over to the May too.
Worst part is they didn't force ults out of Invaders. So Invaders got that entire point through, winning every single fight, just ult picks, no ult spent.
Oh, you can know that LKYJ really wants to go for it, but the Ray used. There's the wall, good wall from Symbol, trying to isolate some of the LOS. Gets 2 with the grab, so maybe he can get a punish here.
Invaders are losing a lot here. Triple O with the double. Invaders have so many ults to play through, and they use the singular one. Now Ghost wants to drop in for an extra annihilation. He's actually going to get a kill off that. I think that may have taken away the rally from Pebo, but it's just not really advised. I don't know what Ghost is trying to do there. They don't have point control. They don't have it capped. They don't have the members. And he's doing like a 2v4, 2vx annihilation that is very difficult to play through.
He just believes. He believes in his Ramattra gameplay. I mean, he has been getting a lot of limbs, but now TKO holding the point. Gonna have the Ray, gonna have the Blizzard here. As the early Deadeye making it through the choke. Gonna commit the Blade 2 off the space. Love the idea here where everyone has to back up. They try to leave, and then the Blade just cleans them up. Yep. And Symbol gonna use the Blizzard. So another ult, you know, just kind of gone into the void. Very good recontest there for Invaders.
Maybe he's swapping back over towards the Symmetra. LKYJ now looking over towards the Malga. So you know what? Maybe I'll give it to you. Maybe he is Harbin pilled, because this is definitely a Harbin character.
Yeah. Are we in a Malga meta? Are we in a Malga? I mean, you know, gotta ask.
Well, let's check in. Let's check in with Harbin a little bit later on. Let's check in with what he sees about that fact. He's gonna get a stomp on. That's beautiful. Now AbdulAziz, look at the TP out, so he'll stay alive for at least the time being. Ghost falling by, and it should pop in maybe a slightly late orbital ray, but TKO will win the fight regardless. Checking on the Blizzard again, by the way, I do want to mention, I think Symbol's best time to use the Blizzard would have been as soon as the Blade came through. It really prevents Zach from walking with the Blade, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, just a bit of a mistiming there, but I mean, the Malga with the swap, along with the Ray, just puts so much pressure early onto AbdulAziz, so just removes the TP, removes the Suzu, splits them. Very good initiation comes out for TKO. Now they can hold this choke, and I mean, the Malga, it is very strong. I mean, New York City, we've seen a lot of Malga in the past, especially in OWCS Korea on this map. And still a very, very good pick. See the contest here on the choke, but a lot of pressure is okay. Zenitsu down.
I think it's a good pick if you're like one of 3 players in the entire world. But right now, TKO might still be to get something done here. Maybe they'll prove that it is worth. Was LKYJ the only one alive? It's looking like Invaders will get the flip. No one else online for TKO at all. I mean, they still hit the 99, so TKO just need one good fight here.
And they're going to have the rally. I mean, there's no support ults up just yet for Invaders, so if they have that tracking down, they're going to know, like, okay, we can pop a free rally, come on in. And this is a moment for a very big annihilation, right? Annihilation just to sustain those ults when they come on through. Knowing the rally's available, this could be a moment where Ghost can have a very impactful annihilation after some lackluster ones. They go looking for the engage now, coming through the choke, going to drop that wall, finding Ghost, doesn't have the annihilation just yet. And Snowfall going for the long jog around here for the Deadeye.
Okay, a little bit of damage in there, but no kills. Okay, YJ falls first. And now Ghost, as you say, the annihilation coming on through for the big cleanup. It is the final fight. It is the final point. And Invaders, after dropping Busan, are going to come up with 2 maps of their own in response. Circuit Royale right into New Junk City win.
Okay, I mean, Invaders still looking very, very good. And you have to say that, you know, this was a team that they beat them yesterday. They looked a little bit shakier here at some of the earlier points, but if anything, TKO just looking a lot better. And a much more neck-and-neck match, I would say, compared to their series from yesterday. Maybe some jitters, maybe some land, you know, just nerves coming through. They had to download the opponent a bit. But I'm liking the flexibility, and really, I mean, OKYJ is giving a mix of the Max Hanbin hero pool a bit, and they're making use of what feels to be not a particularly meta hero pool to a degree, because if you're not really pulling out Orisa and Ramattra a lot, feeling really good on it, I feel like at times you're going to be have a little bit of trouble in this meta. And they're making it a little bit more unconventional, just venture heavy style work with Triple O, but struggling, I think, in some of these longer fights and these fights where you can just see the value that the Ramattra is getting for you when you can sustain the May walls, you can sustain that. You have the long range hit scan from Snowfall that is just getting consistent picks, because unless your Venture can close that gap, like you talked about, Admiral, you're just going to struggle to finish fights.
I think LKYJ just wants to play D.Va, if I'm honest. Usually when you see a player, particularly a tank player, move through about 4 different heroes in the space of a single map, it's not a good sign. You're looking at a player or a team that is unable to find the winning matchup. They're thinking, okay, well, this isn't working. How about we change to this tank? That's not working. Let's try something else. The Zarya, strangely, did actually win them 1 point. Credit where credit is due. But right afterwards, you go to the next point, a little bit longer range. Suddenly you're getting poked out massively. You get blown up in that first fight. I don't think that I don't even know if you remember what the grab did. I certainly don't. I think the grab was.
It got two. It got suck. It got ghost. But you know, they're able to. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, but the problem is you get a Ramatra, and that's kind of the problem, right? When we talk about the strength of Ramatra, is that he's sitting there, he's Nemesis forming, he's crossing his arms, he's got a shield, he's just very, very survivable. He's so survivable comparatively to, just a lot of tanks. Out there.
Now, wasn't very survivable on LYKJ's hands, though. I think that's sometimes the issue is that you are more experienced on a single matchup or a single tank more than others, and it just doesn't work out the way you want it to. But in either case, look, you're right, we are looking at a competitive series. Even if it was a 3-0, we would have said this was a competitive series anyway, just given the fact of how the score lines have gone. But we are going to go to fourth map. There is more to play through here. We're going to go into some untraveled territory for both of these teams in this particular matchup. Again, winner goes through to the top 8 to face Falcons. Loser ends their journey here.
Yeah, that is a good reminder. It is the qualification match, so everything on the line for these teams right now to continue moving forward to make it to that potentially final spot to make it into EWC. And also, multiple on top of the $100,000 prize pool on the line here, but also the larger EWC prize pool, and of course also the Jafonso Award, right? And that maybe making it through, earning that 50,000. So a lot of different things on the line in terms of both bragging rights and actual monetary value comparatively. So still a lot on the line for these squads as we are waiting for the map pick along with the bans. We're going to see what they start getting into, and maybe, because remember, it is loser pick. So it is going to be the choice for TKO again. Maybe they try to take it to, Kings Row is in the pool, right? So they're going to have some options. That's right. Kings Row gone. No, sorry. I was thinking of Shambali. I was going to say, no, they have Shambali Monastery, or we call it OWCS Korea. It's Shambali Monetary. And I do think that this is potentially a map that if you want to play maybe a little bit more of that rush style. I mean, Ramatra's so good on that map. I'm just trying to think of maps.
Hybrid and
TKO,
push.
Where could they go?
Hybrid and push.
Hybrid and push, I guess. Yeah, it's left.
So that's what we got left. I could spoil it now if we want to. I mean, we had a little bit of time. We might as well talk about it. We'll talk about it a bit more when we come back from the break anyway. But Hybrid, it is going to be Midtown. It's going to be Zarya Cascon. So it's Invaders banning away Cass. It's Invaders banning away Zarya and TKO banning away Cass. I don't know. Is the Zarya ban that worth? I don't think the Zarya was that big of a problem. So that's a kind of curious ban coming on through from Invaders. But they've already taken away the Diva. You can't do that again. I'm not too sure if there's another pick they really felt like was problematic in that last... or even in any other three maps so far. So
Venture, maybe. I mean, because they banned Venture yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, they haven't banned a Venture yet. Maybe they should do that as a target. But
I mean, also, if they've been pretty good at dealing with it, though, right? Like the Venture has obviously had a lot of impact, but I feel like Invaders, they've just been winning. They've just been winning the fights. They've just been still winning the fights where it matters. And maybe it'll be some hubris to come back to bite them, because I mean, I think Venture pretty strong on Midtown. You see a lot of teams play it. And I do think it has a lot of potential to be really good there, but especially since with Cassidy gone. But I mean, you still can play the Sojourn, right? You can still get away. You can use the slide to get out a lot of that danger. So gonna be just kind of a can they make it work situation.
Just trusting that they'll be able to deal with it one more time. Thinking about how Venture's going to play on Midtown, probably fine. I don't see Venture played a lot on Midtown, but I think so far, based on Triple O's performance, would probably be okay. Symmetra actually has a reasonable likelihood of being played on here. Some teams...
I didn't like the sim, though. Didn't love the sim for them, though. I honestly, after the last map, I don't know if I want to see them play the sim again, but it is a good sim map, like you said.
You do have to be a good sim team. I don't think any team can just pull through the sim. You have to be a well-practiced sim team. Trust me, we saw plenty of teams in OWCS that were probably not what you want to see on sim at all, and, well, yeah, they brought that one through to not great success. Well, the teams are loaded up into Midtown, so I suppose we'll be heading into map very shortly. No break this time, as I'm already seeing a Freya on board as well. I think that's pretty normal. I think we'll be looking at Snowfall back on some of his key picks as we head into...
He's screen peeking.
Not the map.
Okay. He's not letting us just see the map.
Here we go.
There's the map. There's the map. And you are right. I mean, that's a Zenyatta. That is Zenyatta there for Pebo. They're going to play like a really... Yeah, I mean, imagine, when's the last time we've seen Zen? It feels like it's been forever.
Well, we saw Zen, like a Zen back on circuit, like 1 meta ago, but a bit rare on this map, I would say. Definitely more likely seeing Alari, which is what OWCS is going to be playing. Double Fire is coming on through, though, which I think is pretty strong on this map. But you see 2 of them. Okay, Snowfall might have some good time here, taking down Symbol. Our biggest prime target.
Hey, well, Symbol's got an orb. and Sock does not. But okay, 0-0. Gonna find Snowfall, gonna take on Sock as well. Okay, the Venture paying dividends so far. Pebo gonna go down, no heals available for TKO. But okay, YJ still relatively healthy, Symbol on the point. But with Ghost and Abdullah just anchoring up on the point, playing the pylon, this should be more than enough.
Okay, YJ did a lot of work.
Gonna stay alive, but unlikely to get it. Yeah, I know, definitely. A ton of work.
You can see why he just wants to play the D.Va here, why the D.Va ban last map was so impactful. He actually just got like 2 solo kills that fight, essentially. As the double bolts will come through for Snowfall and Symbol. Kyo did not get a tick off the back of that one, and because Symbol dies late, they're not going to take advantage of some of these picks that were found by TKO. Symbol now moves over towards the Soj instead. This is going to be a full resetted fight, looking for first ults here. WCS has just completely overtaken everybody in terms of ults.
Well, the great Pebo Zenyatta experiment has ended. We can say it was conclusively not a success, at least for the one fight that we saw it. We're gonna go ahead and make that swap. As Invaders, I mean the poke here, they're putting so much pressure, committing the Captive Sun as well. Abdulaziz is gonna use it because if you have it, why not? Doesn't look like you're gonna find anything from it though. Yeah, no, I think I'd prefer if it was used in a situation when TKO definitely want to commit. When you start dropping that Captive Sun on top of them as they're rotating across the map, and ideally away from LKYJ, who could eat it away. Now that tool is gone, TKO has an opportunity now. Being mech available for LKYJ, this is where he could get aggressive, and he is. He's just going to go straight in, but I don't know if he's going to get back in the mech at all. 25 HP, he'll commit for it, but while that's happening, his team is falling apart around him. It's everyone from Invaders starting to get some kills. LKYJ, once again, super low HP. Once Invaders get this mech gone, Invaders should be able to hold on. And they get some picks. Ghost still here on the point, relatively healthy, and Abdullah just going to pick. They're just going to get the pick as well on the LKYJ. So and this is kind of the issue, right? When you're playing this really hard D.Va comp, though. I mean, Triple O continues to get picks, but no one from DKO is just going to be there just yet. Is that when you're playing the D.Va, you're just trying to like maybe zone out the backline, and you're so easy to isolate, especially when you have the Illari, right? You have so much option to just boop you away. You can play the pylons, and then Ghost is just running rampant. Into the support line, into the DPS.
Despite Triple O getting some of these picks before getting traded himself, TKO is still finding even later picks than that. He saw Sack just drop a rock on just Zenitsu, and I got less than a minute to play through. There's an opportunity to start ulting. It would be now for TKO. They're looking towards a double support ultimates first. Is being used now to the back line. It's going to be a moving barrage as well. He's not catching anybody as the umbrella comes up from the D.Va of KYJ, but still Zenitsu and Pebo fall regardless of that. Invaders are still able to hold on to 4 plays. No supports now for TKO. A very drastic tectonic shock is going to try and make this one work, and I don't know, they look like they've got enough kills. They are going to get a single tick here. Invaders, if they regroup quickly, they can get in recontest.
So Overclock available for Symbol. They might be able to get another where they are. Triple O going to find that pick on the Snowfall, and what a good fight for TKO, but started kind of disastrous. They committed the rush. They didn't get much. Ghost still here on the point. Has the Annihilation, though, so the contest not over. Captain Stun going to be used. Symbol goes down. And with the Annihilation, finding multiple players here. They need a little more picks.
This time I respect it. This time I respect the recontest. He did lose Snowfall. Unfortunately, a little bit late / early there. But WCS and Ghost in position to maybe carry through the fight. I could see the vision there. Ghost popping Annihilation to stay alive on the point. Buying time for the rest of the defenders to recontest. And WCS, high fragging power when it turns to getting the Captain Sun. If you can find a couple players, find some picks coming your way, you start getting some recontesters in there, you overpower and recover that point. But Invaders, not enough there. I don't think the Captain Sun actually got anything.
And now TKO going to the high ground, going to find Abdulaziz and LKYJ into the backline, just putting so much pressure here again. And this is where LKYJ has just been feasting, right? Just goes so aggressive here on the D.Va sometimes. A little bit of feast or famine this time. Whoa!
Peaked a little early.
Snowball, maybe. You know what? Just cut the feed there. Don't want to look at that one. We can look away. But with that pick, I mean, this is giving TKO just free license to push.
Usually, this would be pretty bad for LKYJ. I mean, you're going hyper aggro and you're losing mech for that one, costing you the self-destruct, but you're actually going to get rewarded. Snowfall picking slightly too early. Payload's now moving on through for the final push. Losing possessive here is a bit of a problem for Invaders. Ghost still alive, though. Needs a bit of help. Snowfall down again. TKO just have major player advantage here. Maybe losing that a little bit. It's 3 versus 3. They might have to back on out. No, it's going to be Symbol trying to just make this one work, but loses the OC in the progress.
Ghost still relatively healthy here on the point. Possessive looking to get the heals, but okay, YJ into the backline. Gonna get the zone, but still Ghost just unable to be removed here. There's a fortification, a turret here on the point. But TKO got a lot of cap time. They've got a lot of options. Now, the bank not looking amazing, but double support is coming up. We have to play into the raid. Okay, Snowfall. Gonna get one, though.
That's one less. Still enough time to get this respawn in there for a contest and build the orbital ray as well. But now you have to contend with the fact that Widowmaker back in the field. and limited range for TKO. This is also going to be a very forward push from Invaders as well. This is going to give Snowfall a lot of space to work through for TKO on limited time. It's going to have to go for the touch. Somebody's actually already on the back, and that's going to be Triple O just on the payload. But if they just completely come back and take Triple O together as a team, they might be able to get the kill.
Oh, and look at the collapse there, too. OWCS going to take down the OWCS, but Pebo, Zenitsu, both down, no heals. Both support ults gone. Triple O going to get another, but I mean, there's just no healing. It's such a hard fight here. They need picks. They need insta-picks. And Triple O going to find another. I mean, just finding one and one, just continually finding more. Forces the annihilation. If they stay alive, maybe they can touch, but there's no health.
It's just Vortex. The Vortex is going to slow them all down. Snowfall's going to get the final shot onto Triple O. And now part of me thinks they just didn't regroup in time, because you see that you need some respawns in there. Don't worry, this is just the we're going to swap sides here. There's still another half of Midtown to play, but you saw Triple O go in, not even necessarily for a touch. It looked kind of like a back camp to me. This is wild. They actually lost a member early to Snowfall and the Widowmaker, and there was not like a real regroup coming through TKO. So it's like KYJ comes in to try and regroup with Triple O, and then the fight starts taking off kind of like a 4v5. It's a little bit messy in there. TKO eventually lose double supports, and it's like, oh, now things are going to get really tricky for them. No more healing for Triple O, and he just couldn't carry any further than he did.
And definitely been a reoccurring issue so far. It's just the backline for TKO. They just aren't up. They aren't up, and then they need them. Triple O, OWCS doing their best to make things happen there, but if your backline just getting ran over, it's hard to keep those committed fights going. It's hard if you don't have the sustain necessary. So Invaders moving over here to the offense now. Likely going to be playing a pretty similar comp.
Well,
Pebo now on the BAP here.
I think they're sacrificing the supports a lot, because you have LKYJ and Triple O going pretty deep, and they're not really 5-manning as a team, which, you know, given the comp, you might not necessarily always have to do, but they're not really playing a dive comp. It's kind of like a weird mix. Like, I'm not too sure what you even call this comp. It's like kind of divey, kind of brawly, but then LKYJ is like giga going deep in the back line, which is just going to allow players like Sack and Ghost to run your supports down. See what happens now. OWCS on the attacking Larry. Typically, the Larry would only be playing the defense on A, but he's going to attack with it.
See a little bit of contest happening on the choke, the poke going on. Triple O on the flank, waiting for someone to commit. Symbol looks for the off angle. Okay. There's Snowfall on the flank. I mean, Triple O unable to control him, and Triple O going to go down. Snowfall with 2 there off that sneaky flank push. And I mean, that's first point. That's first point. We're in a recontest situation here for TKO, if they can even get back in.
Yeah, well, the team actually does die fast enough that they can get a recontest here. They need to wait for LKYJ. They have a speed ring to play through as well. Gonna let 2 ticks go through, but on the 3rd tick, TKO should be able to touch. And they respawn in time. Okay,
I mean, they are, but I mean, I don't think it's even worth.
Okay, yeah. No, I think LKYJ either needs to die first or get out, stay alive, because you need the tank to go for the touch. And, you know, you stopped the ram anyway, so no more of those shenanigans.
And very smart from Sock, too, to just, like, look for the contest early, make sure the Venture can't get the touch. His Symbol gets chased down. Triple O, gonna get one in return. You see OWCS and Triple O, they've been doing this a lot, moving as a 2-man unit, just putting so much pressure here.
Man.
Not going to get the second pick, but the heal's going to be there from OWCS, but keeps them alive here for TKO to contest the high ground.
I really should have been Triple O's. I mean, you just see him hitting, like, all of these aerial shots, but just being healed up by the healing partner. The healing partner was just out healing all of their damage. I'm going to see what LKYJ can do on this Ram. As we know, he hasn't really been wanting to play too much Ram. He's been wanting to mostly play the Diva, but he needs to have a little bit more survivability. Straight away into the backline. Sack wanted that kill. Ghost will finish him off. There's a trade onto the soldiers. Triple O is consistently being a menace in the backline.
I mean, there, another pick, Triple O. Even the contest alive, going to get the lamp here as well. So Triple O's Venture, I mean, it's just been this kind of focal point for them, right? LKYJ's Diva and Triple O's Venture still putting the pressure onto Ghost as well. Keeping the card contest alive. All of TKO, they're back.
Time to ult. Ghost holding on to this one. Thinks about the annihilation. Now it's time to use it, but needs a little bit more healing, needs a little bit more support. Symbol has just been completely farmed time and time again. That'll be a double kill for OWCS. Just waiting for this last pylon to fall, and then the cap should come on through, and this cap will be a map win as well. And Invaders, they're already up 2-1. I mean, this could be it. Is the entire series over? You need to touch right now.
Life on the line here for TKO. They have to touch. They're going to have a window. They have some other ults coming up. Triple O going to get a contest. The blade used there for Sack. But look at the picks. Look at the picks. OWCS hitting the shot. The annihilation is up, but I mean, it's over. It's done, Avril.
It's over. LKYJ is gone. Triple O can only do so much here. Invaders Too powerful on the attack. Held on Circuit Royale, held on Midtown, only at 3-1, with the one going for TKO in the series, but also on the one round in New Junk City. That Busan looked reasonable for TKO. Honestly, Triple O played a really, really powerful game on the venture. Really liked what I saw out of the mechanics that he displayed. It's just not enough against the power of Invaders, given that they did beat TKO last time, 3-0, a lot more one-sided. This time around, getting the game to be a bit more competitive. At least there'll be the one map there from TKO, which was well-deserved. But I think from a team perspective, you could just see that Invaders, more well-rounded team, didn't have to swap around their comps a lot, trusted what they were going to play, trusted in their RAM composition to carry them through for the entire wave, and it worked.
Yeah, feeling a little bit more meta resistant, and I think that's just the name of the game. I thought there was maybe hope a bit for when you look at overall just TKO. Just okay, we maybe have a sim in the back pocket because sim's so impactful. It didn't really work out for them, so they're just stuck into these venture-centric compositions with LKYJ playing like a very aggressive, more just like I'm gonna go combine with Triple O on the tank front. Just not able to keep their backline alive, not able to get enough picks in general to sustain those longer fights when Triple O is going for the long flanks, and definitely a bit of more well-rounded performance coming out for Invaders.
I think yesterday I would have given MVP to Shaq. Despite them losing, obviously, if it was a real player of the match, it would have gone to Zeta, but just saying that the standout play yesterday would have been Shaq. Today's standout play has been Snowfall. A little bit of Ghost in there as well, but a couple of wonky annihilations might have tilted that one into Snowfall's favor a little bit. Yeah, this was a little wacky. That was the one sour point for Snowfall in this series. But then you remember the Widowmaker picks, but then you remember the 4K on Circuit Royale, and you're like, you know what?
True.
99.9% of the time, Snowfall was getting it done. It was that one time where he peaked the self-destruct. It happens. We've all died to that one.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's been a really great performance from OWCS here on the support as well. Obviously, that captive Sun play being like really huge, but pulling out a lot of different looks, which I felt like was a big factor overall. When you just see how Invaders were playing, just having a backline that felt like they're a little bit more resilient, we're staying up a little bit more just in general, and keeping the sustain out, getting the picks that are necessary. So, especially at the highest levels, you want supports that not only are just living, but also putting a lot of impact, damage, and frags for your team, and it felt like that was definitely on the table there for Invaders.
Yeah, I do think that when you look over towards TKO, really for me, is particularly on Midtown, when you see TKYJ move away from the Diva onto the ramp, you're thinking, oh, things are going badly here. Usually when they're moving away from the Diva, it's not that good of a look. Diva is by far their best tank, by far their best hero in terms of even compositionally. Even though it's scrappy, even though you do have a lot of extremely heavy diving, it would be really nice if, like, you know, they actually fully committed to a dive comp, playing like a Lucio Kiriko or something like that. Very mobile. Your supports aren't going to break if your tank leaves LOS, you know. You can follow through and actually support your Diva a lot better if he wants to play hyper aggressive. But a bit of a mix and match type of composition where, yeah, the supports just didn't look very divey and they were kind of sacrificed every time TKYJ wanted to dive on in. But that is TKO's run done. Invaders will be playing against Falcons tomorrow, but we're not done for today. Another match coming on through into Group B, so don't go anywhere. More LCQ right after this.
I stepped into a realm of wonders where the sun kisses the sea. Two worlds inspired by each other. Two worlds making one. This land is calling, Saudi Red Sea.
moment can be precious like this. So come on, here's something you don't want to miss.
We have sorted Group A, and congratulations to Invaders for taking our second seed from Group A. And now we're going to move on to Group B of ours. 4 more games to play through, 4 more elimination qualifier games to look at as well as we complete our top 8 at the end of today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to have 8 teams remaining after today. We're getting rid of 4. Unfortunately, they need to go home. It is the last chance qualifier, so this is your last chance. And right now, I mean, the next last chance is going to obviously be for Zenith and Force, which was a match that we did see yesterday and does not bode well for today based off what we saw. But considering that TKO had a bit of a better match versus Invaders, they took a map. Yep. Maybe this could be a pool shark situation. They were holding their true power. They're gonna show up and be like, actually, guess what? Like now, I'm gonna scream really loud. My aura is gonna be released, and it's gonna look really good.
Yeah, just waiting for the emergency substitution on day 2. It's like, hang on a second, I'm hearing there's somebody called Stalker coming in for Force. Does that ring a bell? Is that a good player? I haven't heard of him before. He might be pretty good.
Oh my
gosh,
that's not happening. I can't believe
that's not happening.
Stalker.
But
wait, is that Sir Majed? Is that Sir Majed's music I hear? Sir Majed coming on in as well.
He is
very possible.
He is here. Actually, there was an opening ceremony for EWC a couple of weeks ago in that first week, and a bunch of people from Team Falcons were there, like as a part of the opening ceremony, as in they weren't there to just watch it. They were like actually part of the ceremony itself, because they won the club championship last year. And guess what? Sir Majed was in there. I saw him. He's there.
Well, I mean, he's got an airport named after him, so it only makes sense. He's gonna be coming in for that. Yeah. But definitely, if we look at this next match, it is obviously, like we said, a qualifier match, an elimination match, and based off our historical data, it's not looking incredible currently for Zenith, but can't write them off just yet. You never know. So we're going to hear into the first map of the series. It is going to be Oasis yet again.
Me personally, I don't need a whole airport. That's a lot. I'd be happy with just a bus
That's
depot.
fair.
That's
humble.
Very
That's
humble bus depot named after me would be enough.
I want like a grocery store. I want like a convenience store, and I'd be okay.
Well, that's got nothing to do with transportation, so you lose.
Yeah, but you put it next to transportation places. People got to buy a snack, got to buy a drink. I think it's humble as up. As okay, right? Say that I9 goes down to NBHD, And also, by the way, the bans here, Tracer getting banned for Force, D.Va banned by Zenith, so not going to see Tracer, not going to be seeing any D.Va, which explains why there's no Tracer being played on a map like this.
Might just end up being Zenith being transported back to the spawn room immediately. As if you remember what happened yesterday, we played this map. We actually started on this point as well, as I'm pretty sure. And
yes, we did, yeah.
Force just spawn camped, really.
Yes, and now they have a Pharah Mercy, which is, you know, we've seen a little bit more Mercy than I was expecting at times, but this time, you know, it was the Toby who played an okay amount of it.
Pharah Mercy, I think, is one of the ultimate skill checks in the game, which if you're up against a team like Force, who you've proven that you're definitely much better than, they're going to get skill checked extremely hard by a Pharmacy.
We'll never forget playing against the Mangachu Pharah Mercy. The true silly hero specialist. Definitely was a not fun time at times way back in the day, as Zenith obviously struggling to get out of the spawn right now. Poro plays.
They're not going to watch this.
On the top.
To be fair,
I mean, just waiting. They're not looking for it. They're not looking for it.
You're not really expecting this one, and even if you are, you have to pay attention to the front because you're getting shot by fire the entire way through. HBY not going to be on the hog, which actually I respect. You're playing into the wall. I respect it a lot.
But you see these off angles. Look at these off angles. I mean, the off angles are just brutal right now. You have the Pharah Mercy pounding you with rockets right now. They're not able to get removed. NBHD on this really long off angle 2 on the Freya. Zenith, I mean, they're just thinking, like, how do I get out of spawn here? Like, I need something. Like, because even if you hit the hook, maybe you get the punish. Finally going to get the punish. Poro Plays goes down off the hook, but Khaled gets hit with the rocket, gets hit with the Kiriko damage.
That's one kill. We're going to count these. Oh,
NBHD gets hit with the car. What? Okay. Yeah, we're playing here on the streets. Got to look both ways. That's supposed to here. So look at the cleanup. I mean, HGBY.
Or the Reds is coming.
The point.
Valk straight into the Reds. 2 deaths on 4 so far. Zenith really haven't seen the point yet. Not really. As I'm pretty sure we'll just mine this one out. All the barrows can finish things off. Zenith don't have ult scare either, which is a big problem. It's something that we talked about yesterday, where really just no one could get an ult within the 0 to 100. Khaled has an ult this time around. I9, just drop that at one in there, fella. Pop it in there. Give me a little celebration.
Yeah, not quite. Not quite. And that's going to be the first round there for Oasis. We will be waiting eagerly in Ajax. I mean, all smiles all around, which is good. Keeping the mental high is always very important. But it is giving shades of yesterday's game there, Avril, which is about what we expected. I mean, it just feels like mechanically, coordination-wise, Force seemed to be a bit ahead right now. And maybe Zenith's just not quite there.
I just think it's positioning, crosshair placement, map awareness, team structure, composition, hero pools, map selection, map bans, mental state, lighting position, chair angle, coaching staff, breakfast you had in the morning. I think all of these factors definitely for Zenith today might be a little too overwhelming.
That's fair. I mean, that's a very good point. I mean, you can't ignore all those very extremely crucial factors here. Is still pretty similar composition for Force now with 4 plays on the Orisa. Khaled gonna go down as Zenith trying to make it on in there. All trying to stick to the hog here, maybe try to get a hook, but right now really just doing old battery. No, that's it. That's it. Goes down. Astel gonna get the pick, but goes down in return.
I'm counting. It does. I don't. Even though the race came through, I'm counting it anyway. It doesn't matter.
Hey, I mean, I think they'll take that. They'll take that. Put it on the board. Put it on the board.
I even took.
That's huge.
I even counted the MBHD death to the cars on that last round as well. I counted that one too. We're going to head into this Orisa matchup now. I think with the double hit scans online, should be a little more pressure on the I suppose. But again, Pharah Mercy skill check is a real deal here. Ana even being played by Heartland. I don't think we saw a single Ana yesterday. Don't worry, we'll be seeing plenty of Ana in the actual EWC when Shu just decides to one-trick that the entire way through, which I'm sure he will, and will succeed doing so as well.
Well, and here's the damage. They're caught in the room. The damage was a rockets. 4-0 plays just clearing on through. Gonna be a slow cleanup without any heals. Toby obviously down. And there goes the rest of Zenith. And so far, what are we still on? One? Still on 1 so far, Avril? Let's keep track of that.
This round, yeah. Total 3, but 1 this round.
So. I9 does have the beat coming on up. We could have, some fun places. Okay, poor plays. Going for the long flank here. Probably gonna look for the Terror Surge. Wait, maybe?
Not quite. Not quite off the map. I think they landed on Astel, who you can just slide back in anyway. Here we go for a play. Terror Surge in, and the players that are not Terror Surge just going to get cleaned up by, you'd imagine, the Rockets.
Wait, two.
One. Yep, Heartland goes down. That's 4 total, 2 for this round. I like that. Unfortunately, the res is there. See, this is the thing. The res is a very punishing because when you're only kind of just barely getting one kill here or there, and that one kill gets res, it's like, ah, damn, we worked so hard for that one kill.
That's very true. I mean, it's like you're the OP power scaled, like under-leveled army in like a fantasy universe, and the necromancer like reses all the skeletons that you just like spend all time fighting, like you and your peasant friends with your pitchforks. You're like, guys, we beat the undead army, and then oh wait a minute, necromancer, and that really in many ways that's what Mercy is, just a necromancer of Overwatch.
She had the witch skin.
You're the off angle. They're trying to make it on through. I don't think the witch quite the same as in.
We got the Ajax.
Oh, there it is.
I caught it with my own two eyes. With mine eyes, I caught thy Ajax, as foretold. Written in the scriptures, written in the prophecies, it has been found. We had one yesterday, to be fair, as well, but it has been found today.
Always very important. You can't go without that. You need it for a little bit of flavor text. In general, that is going to be the first map, obviously going the way of Force. Zenith still looking not dejected, and I think that's extremely important. But Force looking very much in control of the series. It is going to be loser pick, so Zenith will be picking the next map. Hearts, peace signs, whatever you want, drone to the camera. And I mean, overall, it's just all you can do. All you can do when it seems like you're against an overwhelming force, literally. I think
at the end of the series, we've replayed at the PlayStation booth right behind them. See that?
Put them on console.
The fusion going on there. Yep. Do this series again on console at the PlayStation booth. Do it one more time. Bring that Overwatch console out. Then we'll
put them in VR. Put them in VR and see how they do, huh? Let's check VR. Put them in the VR headsets, and let's just see how well you do then. The Nintendo Switch gyroscopic controls. Either ones. But we are going to be looking forward towards the next map, waiting for the pick coming out for Zenith. Obviously, we'll take a look at some of the replays here. And, it's just kind of just the story that has to be told is that Force just obviously feeling far and away ahead of the squad right now, and Zenith's just back against the wall.
Definitely far away. I mentioned, I suppose.
But not far away. Not far away 1987.
Yep.
But far away.
But far away. Farah was the name of the game here. What did Messi play yesterday? I think he played Genji.
A lot of Genji. I think also maybe some Tracer. Yeah, a little bit of Tracer too.
A tiny bit of Tracer. Did get banned a little bit earlier on. So we'll see what map we have left to play through for the next one, and the band's obviously coming through. But I'm not too sure. I think if you really wanted to hard counter the ball Farah composition, maybe you play the Sombra. But at this point, you're thinking, well, what can Zenith really pull through? What kind of tricks have they got for us? Because you can make the swaps, you can get the perfect counter swap going, but unless your team has the capability to fire the shots, land these shots, and land your abilities and cooldowns, and kind of play together as a team in the correct way, even choosing the right comp probably isn't going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, and also the issue is that even if you have the right comp, I mean, there's such a depth of comp that Force could still pull out that they're probably going to be just better at across the board. So there isn't really a magic bullet here, some sort of, option, some sort of silver case that you can put on to take down the monster. It's unfortunately just, you got to slog it through. And that's where Force is going to have the advantage because there just isn't anything that looks like it's going to go their way. Unless they're really good at hog compositions, we're going to get the second coming like Harblue or something like that. But I mean, it's just very unlikely across the board. But we're going to take a look at more of the series, see what happens for the next map, because we're going to have a quick break. And on the other side, we'll see you there.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Welcome back to the Last Chance Qualifiers Road to EWC here for our teams. We're in Group B, currently the second match, about to be the second map as well. First one went about the way that we expected here of ours. I tell you what though, you know, we saw some swaps in there, we saw some more kills come through. I think a lot more kills in our opening map than we got in the entire series yesterday, so that's an improvement.
It is, and we got to see, you know, a little bit of Roadhog, a little bit of ball at the same time, you know, as we like to say in the business, some hog and ball delight. And just, you don't get to see that too often these days. Yeah, I mean, you didn't see that too often these days, but it did not pay dividends, unfortunately, for the Roadhog team. So we're going to see what map 2 leads, what it portends here for Zenith. But as of right now, there isn't looking like a clear path to victory, but still 2 maps to go.
As we take a look at our players here in the gaming hall, STC Gaming Hall. Still 2 matches left to play through, so plenty of teams here. Falcons and Zeta taking a break today as they've already qualified through. Vision have qualified through, barely. And maybe in a surprise twist, TFW qualified through over Cold Metal, who will be playing a little bit later today for Survival.
And it is looking like, I mean, map at least has been decided. We can give a little bit of a preview. The map is going to be Midtown. Midtown is going to be the next map, so pretty interesting pick there for Zenith.
And yesterday,
ready in here very soon.
Yesterday we didn't get that one. Yesterday we had Oasis, New Junk City, Colosseo, so Midtown now for these 2 teams. We did see this one in the previous matchup between Invaders and TKO. And what do we have out here for Force? I'll tell you what, if Farah Mercy is a skill check, a Bastion is also a skill check. A big one.
That's a Bastion, Lifeweaver, Reinhardt with a Sombra. As okay, using the nade jump over the top. There's the engage. Immediately taking down I9, and then here's the Reinhardt into the fray. I mean, very aggressive engage. A little bit of shenanigans, a little bit of interesting picks just in general there. They were not expecting the Reinhardt Bastion to come over the top there. Feels very cinematic. Feels very Blizzard cinematic pilled right there. And also as a reminder for the bands here, Mercy banned by Force, so there's not going to be a Mercy pick. And then Freya was banned by Zenith, so Freya's not going to get played.
It's funny because Force were the ones playing Mercy themselves, but just in case Zenith want to pull through something funny. Zenith are running like a genuine comp, a comp that you would probably see played. Maybe Tracer a little bit less popular, but this is just going to be Mesopose dropping in from the top, right above, on top of the head of H2BY. He's going to have to go Nemesis into block straight away. Maybe the grip is even early there. Poro plays, doesn't care. He's just going to keep pressing W.
9-9 goes down. I mean, Poro plays just like literally I mean, this is also the first Reinhardt we've seen in a bit. Just the Rein making some things happen here.
Yep.
They do have the Shatter available. Do not talk to me till I get my Fat Shatter. Do not talk to me till I get my Fat Shatter. Let's see.
That's a headshot.
Hiding.
That's still got MBHG down. I'm putting that one on the tally. That's a player.
They know.
That's a pick. Zenith got advantage now.
They know Poro plays is here. They know. I mean, they're just walking forward. Poro plays in the back line. He hits the pin. Hits the Shatter. I mean, there it is. Gets 2. Gonna force the lamp. And the Bastion's there to just follow up. And Force continuing to hold here.
Look, he's got the full loadout there. The you know, full mythic with the extra skin unlocked, with the extra colorway unlocked as well, with the golden demon hammer, everything. He's got the full Jonathan reinforced last loadout. I know, because I've seen Jonathan play this hero.
That's John Reinhardt. That's John Reinhardt themselves. This one's going to find Toby in the back. I mean, with the Reaper swap going to the Moira here, so trying to play just even more brawly. Somebody keep their backline alive as they drop what appears to be a 0-man EMP. Yep. But that's fine because, I mean, still getting picked. There's going to be the Bastion ult too. And, I mean, it's just the situation that we were worried about at Avril is that they're being held here in the spawn and just not quite able to get out, dealing with the unrelenting aggression for Force.
This was literally ulted, like, in front of Zenith. He just sat there, ulted, and they just stopped. And he didn't even drop the artillery shells on himself. He dropped it on the way back to spawn.
Oh, the nano pin with the sleep on Khaled. I mean, that's just nasty. I mean, it's just nasty. Four plays going to the spawn with swings. It is. I mean, it's just another Shatter's going to be up, and they're charging across it, looking. And look at the Reinhardt just perched in the back. I mean, less than a minute remaining here. It's going to be a miracle situation for Zenith. And Zenith, I think they know it.
Not another sleep again.
No,
not another sleep.
Oh,
how does this happen?
Goodness.
How does this happen?
Oh, they're even
40
doing the
seconds.
Emote. They're even doing the little emote there with the Reinhardt hammer. Heartland here in the back. The TP to behind him. Teleport behind you. Weeper, nothing personnel. He gets him. That's a two-man shatter too.
I don't actually miss the sleep dart onto the Reaper there. The Stole gets that one. But another shatter. Pyro Place hasn't gone down yet. The only player that's really gone down is Heartland on the Ana, by the way. I think he died twice now, just as the biggest target here. Okay, here we go. Okay, two more here.
Two guns, two guns.
Well.
Reaper guy gets two, has two guns. Very strong when you have two guns. As Mesopo's still here in the back line. They're hiding for him, but gonna have to ignore him because they need to go for the touch. I mean, Khaled has to get a toucher here. Hopefully keep it alive just a little bit as Poro plays. Still zoning this back line a bit. Mesopo's also back here. Gotta get a touch, and they're gonna get it.
That beautiful tracking from Mesopos as well, because he's gonna go down here. Secondary touch is gonna be initiated for a brief moment. As the first half of this map easily going the way of Force. I think they being Zenith maybe saw the point like one time just for the final touch there. But a pretty brutal spawn camp. Barely anyone even getting the chance to walk out of spawn.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, at least we got to see some hype moments in Aura. You know, I mean, anime fans, you can respect that if you're an anime watcher. You know, you love hype moments in Aura, don't you? We got to see that with some shatters. We got to see some Death Blossoms, some Bastion jumping. I mean, that's really what it's all about. You don't need good writing. You need hype moments in Aura. I mean, we even have a hype moments in Aura caster later today. We have Hunter. You know,
this gameplay is like watching a Michael Bay film. It's all about the hype moments and the explosions of the dinosaurs. We're not here for the plot. There's no writing here at all. You know,
that's true.
We're watching the Bastions fly over the top of trains to jump on top of and land on top of rams.
You're gonna hear like the guitar riff fade in. Shia LaBeouf gonna yell, "Bastion!" Because remember, this is the Blizzard IP branded Transformers. I think this is in this particular universe.
True. I want to see Force.
What do you want to see?
TP onto the point straight away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see what Zenith responds with.
That, you know what? That is a bold bit of prediction / wishes there. Is you want to see them go to the point and you want to see Zenith do something. I'm loving that for you, Afro.
Yeah.
Loving that one for you. But they are going to be on Zen, so we have a little Zen Weaver.
Wanting to see Zenith do something, I think, is really the name of the game here. That was pretty nasty. Mesopol is just completely dominant Estel. That was really nasty, actually.
And then now they get to walk in here for choke for free. I9's going to go down. Toby going to be next. So the Zen battle has been won. Okay, Khaled gets the pick. They do have the Reinhardt here. You are holding, but unfortunately, I don't think Zenith are going to hold. Zenith are not going to be holding. That is going to be the cap coming on down. So it's going to be 2-0 for Force.
Let's get the nice little World of Warcraft quest together emote there at the end. For Poroblaze, massively stacked up iridescent Reinhardt with full mythics across the board. Yeah, how many shatters did bro land here? Like,
wait, I gotta see the hype moments. Gotta see the hype moments in Aura coming out. No, I'm not seeing the hype moments.
You're not
in Aura.
They won't let
me. They won't let me see the hype moments in Aura, unfortunately. Yeah. But 2-0 now available. We're doing some practice fist bumps for the camera here. It's keeping the spirit's eye.
It's because the play of the match clip there that requires parental guidance, and well, I don't think your parents here have asked to allow you to watch that type of content. Yeah. Only that's general content for you, which is why there's a whole lot of wholesome fist bumping, the big hearts that we saw just in the last map as well. A little warming up.
We are heading to a final map of the series, depending on obviously what Zenith is going to be picking. We have one player that maybe I thought that was like they're good here. Was the cam frozen? But they're just locked in. They're extremely locked in. I take a look at some of the Bastion replays. I mean, a Bastion. This is something that see a Bastion, see a Ryan. You do not see that incredibly often, especially with the engages that were occurring here.
They should have played Bastion. I think they should have gone Bastion.
Yeah, they should have.
A great Bastion off. I think the really, really gross stuff that we saw was the repeated sleeps onto Khaled's Tracer.
Onto Khaled. Look at that, and the nano charge too.
Into the pin. And like the nano not even required, but just to make a statement. It's like, you know what, we're going to even nano this pin for no reason. Just, it'll be fun. And it was.
It was fun. It was fun. I mean, I can't deny that. Can't deny that we had a little bit of fun with it. And it's just sometimes how it goes here in these group stages that you're going to have some disparities. You're going to see some disparities. It is just like the horse drawing meme. You know, one half of it is like drawn really well, and the other half, it's kind of just like hand doodles and scribbles. And it's the nature of a group stage here, especially in the LCQ. And I think also teams should walk away from it. They got some good experience. They got to play against a better team. It's really important. And what you're saying something? You're reacting to something.
Something's happening.
Some information.
Something very important just happened that does put a smile on my face. And no, it's not me holding two guns that puts a smile on my face. It's the fact that we're actually going to go to Atlas for the first time.
Oh, really?
I just want to recommend it yesterday. I was like, you know what? If you're losing this hard, take us to a brand new map where teams are not going to practice on, so that we can at least see that and maybe just cause a little bit more chaos. But honestly, I mean, going to a new map is not going to change your Overwatch fundamentals. It's not like you're going to forget how to shoot just because you're a new map. But it'll at least be a new map that we get to go to and have a little bit of a look at. As a bit of a preview for the actual Esports World Cup in terms of Atlas being in the map pool for the first time.
Yeah, and Atlas, I mean, obviously, like we talked about, we've seen it a little bit in some of the promotion relegation. We have not seen it at all, really, for the LCQ. So going to be fun to see for the first time here. And we talked about how chaos can be a benefit to teams that maybe have a bit of a disadvantage. I don't think the chaos will be quite enough. We're like a minuscule amount of chaos. We need like a black hole opening in the venue level of chaos to maybe like, kind of change it up a bit more from this result, because right now Zenith not looking incredibly favored. Also,
the ones doing all the chaos. I mean, they were the ones like putting through all the Bastion, doing the Ryan stuff, and that was unbelievably chaotic actually. And they kind of just dominated. Bans are going to be Anna and Adventure, so Force will be banning away. They're once again banning the heroes that they actually got playing. And the Venture being banned away from Zenith. I don't really think we were going to see the Venture anyway. I don't even know what the good heroes are on this map. I guess we'll find out together. I don't know that this is going to be the series that will really show us what the meta on Atlas is going to be.
No, this will be it. This will be the meta. This will be a meta-defining. This will be a meta-defining series. Yeah. We're going to go back. People are going to go in Overwatch University. The professors will be like, everyone, pay attention. Right now we have Zenith and Force playing today. We're going to do this classic VOD. Let's review the tape, and that's going to define the meta for the rest of history.
I think 9K and Junkbuck are watching right now, taking notes. They got their notepads out. Like, what do we do? What do we do here? I want to see what Force and Zenith do on this map, because we haven't played.
You know? I mean, 9K. I mean, he's definitely taking notes, because he's like, wait a minute, they're not playing Stalker either. That's so smart. That's so smart. Neither one of us will be playing Stalker. So, I mean, overall, just across the board, just some shared intel, perhaps.
Popper's taking notes. Like, what is Messapost playing? Bastion? Let me write that. I'm going to play that one too. We'll bring that one up against Lip a little bit later on. As, I think I remember Lip actually playing a Bastion last year in a Crazy Raccoon versus Falcons game. So, as much as I make fun of Bastion, that actually was a legitimate pick for her. Oh, no, I think he was coming back from Spawn. It was one of those last-minute overtime spawn picks that you're just trying to confuse your opponents on. That's what happened. That was on Gibraltar, fun fact.
Dude, thank goodness we made the swap to the cameras. My shin was itching so bad. I had to itch my shin so bad there, Avril. So, it's just one of those caster moments. You got to stand still when you're getting the itch, and you have to be locked in. Oh, no, so I'm just letting you guys in behind the scenes that I had to scratch my shin there.
It's well known that your shin appears in your upper body, such that you would definitely be seen with your shin in your upper body.
Well, I'm leaning down. I'm leaning down to scratch it though, so you're gonna see the movement.
Well, you guys don't know is Avast is about 8 feet tall, and so he has to lean really far down to reach his shin, because his shin is low. It's low.
Yeah, it's quite a distance for me. I mean, there's different time zones I have to deal with moving between them, and it's just part of the nature of the beast here as we are getting ready to head into third map of the series. Obviously, the map has been picked. We know what it is. It's going to be Atlas, and we are in.
August, look at this one. First point, very interesting. A lot of high ground, circling a very small amount of low ground where you actually do the cap. And, well, Force is going to come through with a Malga comp. And honestly, if they play Malga, they're probably just going to win anyway. So,
are we in Amalgameta?
Are we in Amalgameta? I think we're in whatever meta Force decides we are in. Whatever meta Force decides to put us in is the meta that we're in.
Because, I mean, Zenith comparatively, they're just playing a little bit of this damage boost mercy hit scan, but wow, it's gone. Unfortunately, Crunch under Malga there for 4 plays. 4 plays, going to take down 2. And just continue to chase it on down here. And, like you said, what Mr. Force says, I think, is going to go. And right now, Mr. Force is saying, we are going to be playing some Malga Reaper. We're going to be playing some May. We're going to be crunching the Diva.
We're going to be in the station. Now, is this a train station, or is this a bus station? Is it confirmed, lore-wise, what type of station this is? It's not an airport.
A hype station.
A hype station.
It's a hype station. Yeah, it's where it's really produced all the hype. Everyone, all the hype is made in the hype, the Gigafactory here, run by Elon Hype. You see here another engage going on through there for the Mauga. Azina's just getting cleaned up here. The Mauga just running through them. Force gonna have, coming up on 5 ults, and first point definitely going their way. I'm checking the crystal ball. I'm hearing something from the spirits, Admiral, and the spirits are telling me that it's very possible that the other 2 points are going to go similarly.
But then we won't get to see all 5 points on the map. I
No,
demand we get a full tour. What's next? Is it garden? Fun fact: there are many gardens in Overwatch.
That is quick facts with Admiral.
On Survasa, there's a garden. On Oasis, there's a garden. On Lijiang, there's a garden. And now on Atlas, there's a garden. Many gardens in Overwatch.
I mean, back in the day, New York Excelsior had a garden because they had flowers in it. You could say that was a garden.
Just one, just a single flower. Just
a single flower, but I mean, a flower by any other name is just as beautiful. I think that's I think that's the quote, something like that. Oh wait, there it was. The Reaper emote comes on out. Super's gonna love that one. They do hold on to the Death Blossoms. Okay, NBHD goes a little deep.
There.
Gets caught. I mean, they're going to commit the cage, though. And the rest of them are just going to collapse. They're going to hit the Captive Sun. Also, wow. I mean, I9 was like way out of that radius, it felt like. But either way, it's still going to be the cap remaining here for Force. They're still going to hold on to the Death Blossom. Zenith, maybe get a Ray, but not looking great.
I got a fun idea for Aaron Killer. I hope he's listening. He's definitely listening right now. Don't worry about it. Here's a fun idea. What if one team was allowed to have stadium powers and buy stadium items, the other team didn't? Would that make this game super even or what?
What? Oh, okay.
Okay, let me put that one up. Write that one down. Hang on.
Goes out into the bomb. That's our second Diva bomb.
That's 3 kills. I'm writing that down.
Wait, another
winnable fight. Consider to win this fight.
They've done it. I mean,
got 2 supports.
They've actually won the fight.
No, because now they've lost.
I thought they had it. I thought Toby was gonna get that one right there. I was trying to hype them up, and I feel like if we hyped them up there, it was gonna work out their way. But unfortunately, not. Make the swap over to the Aggressive Force. Gonna get point 2. Or plays doing a little bit of emoting. I'm just gonna say, maybe if you just outright say like, oh, Zenith, they won the fight, and like this, my spirit power, my spirit belief will drag it through the next one.
What's the next point? Let's take a look as we travel through this map. No, I think we can actually do this. So what you would do? Okay, hang on, let me write that one down. Estelle got another one. That's a nice pulse. I wonder if that was a stick. That was a stick. That would have been really nice.
Well, where's the honor? Where's the honor? An honorable Lucio fight was happening there, and Poro plays, gonna get in there, just gonna, break it apart. You would think an honorable Reinhardt player like themselves would not interfere, but unfortunately they did.
What you could do is you can create a stadium custom lobby, and one team buys items and selects powers, and the other one just doesn't. The other one just plays default Overwatch. That's how you would do it. So
what is the appeal of the game mode here? Because I mean, first cap has gone the way of Zenith, but
the appeal is the typical J3 video: 1 Grandmaster versus 5. Choose whatever low rank you want, and then it's like an actual 5v5 where the other team has a huge advantage because they get to power up their heroes quite literally, and the other team just plays normal Overwatch. That's the appeal.
So it's just the content creator game mode.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That's good to know. The reflip happens here for Force. Gonna get the cap there. They're gonna be chasing down.
Kill. I'm writing that one down. I'm putting that in the sheet.
Write that one down. Other one, J3. If you're watching, we know you are. Let it be known that Admiral, he's pitching a game mode for you.
Toby got another kill. Dude, Toby's getting some stuff done out here.
Dude, they should have they thought about playing for the Soul Dynasty?
I'm writing the D into J3 right now for the video idea.
He knows J3 like that, by the way. You notice how he says that? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to Jay.
Yep. All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. I think they should call the game mode, if it's a J3, they should call it the you got a bug on you game mode, perhaps. Thoughts on that? And the bug is that one
solo beat. I respect that hustle. So Toby's solo beat. He's like, just for me. I'm the carry now. Just to be fair, he got a couple of kills later on. I respect it.
He deserves it. He deserves it. Every Lucio player should be allowed to solo beat them if they get multiple limbs, Like Funny Astro, if they get like 2 or 3 limbs, they should be allowed to just solo beat. Just because they've earned the right. As we are ticking into 90% here, which means we're getting close to the end of the series. It's done.
It's the purple one. This is called Bizarre.
It's the purple one.
Yep, I even learned the name. We didn't see much of it because I think 90% of the fights actually took place off the point. We got the initial cap, and then we just started running around into the alleyways, hands off the keyboard. Mom, look, no hands.
Caught. I love it. I love the
vibes on the team,
the spirit, the attitude. Yes, I'm loving that. At the very least, it was obviously a little lopsided in terms of the results, but they appeared to have fun with it, and I had some fun too. I hope you did too, Avril.
Not as much fun as Toby had. Multiple kills there, solo beated. And we got to see Atlas for the first time. Mostly we saw the streets of Atlas. We didn't get to see many other points. We did explore the streets. It does unfortunately mean that we're not going to see the last 2 points of Atlas, which I think is the town square. It's the old-timey looking point, and the resort, the extremely not old-timey looking point.
So those squads obviously wrapping up, getting off the stage, and unfortunately for Zenith, they are now going home. It is done for them, so it is going to be Force advancing in this qualifying match. They've made it through, and Zenith going to be going on home. But I think overall, for teams that maybe for the point of the LCQ is like anyone can come up, anyone can show up and just kind of play against some solid teams and better opponents, some internationally recognized teams. And I think that's the situation that we had there. Take a look at some of the replays. That's going to be a water bottle flip replay.
Ooh.
Looking real clean with it.
Did he hit? Did he hit the water bottle flip?
No,
Okay.
He did not hit it, unfortunately. But you got to practice. You got to practice, got to improve, got to put in the hours.
See, hard mode water bottle flip is when you have no water in it. And it's just at that point, it's a coin flip.
You're just flipping the plastic bottle itself.
It doesn't have to be plastic. It could be any material. Just saying.
Could be any bottle. I guess that's fair. I mean, I feel like it would be easier. But it gets easier, in fact, if you have like a metal water bottle, because you have more weight to kind of like distribute to like easier, to do the balance. I feel like plastic, because of the lightness of it.
It'll bounce when it hits.
Yeah,
right?
and any sort of wind resistance,
sure.
anything like that, gonna mess it up a bit. You have to do some kinematic equations overall for it. So, I mean, we can do more of that. You can check us out on the physics podcast that we run. So you can do more calculations there on the water bottle problem. We call it the two body problem there.
Why? Because there's two people. Is that what that reference is?
Yeah, that's why. There's two people. Yeah.
And we have speaking of twos, we have two teams now qualified through after those games. It is Invaders coming through from Group A, and then in Group B, we have Force. So Invaders will be up against Falcons tomorrow in their quarterfinal, and for Force, they'll be up against Zeta Division. So that'll be a couple of exciting games for us tomorrow, Vast. But for now, today, I want to sign off and hand it off to Group C and D, so don't go anywhere. More LCQ happens right after this break.
This land is calling. This land is calling.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the last chance qualifier for Overwatch 2 here at the Esports World Cup. My name is Commander X and I am joined by Unter to cover the back end of the action here on Decider Day, because there's still two groups left, Groups C and D. We saw Groups A and B earlier, and it was Invaders and Force both repeating their results of yesterday to secure their spot in Phase 2 in that single elimination playoffs. But we got Group C and D coming up now, Max.
Exactly right, Xavier. Now we have Group C, and it is going to be a rematch between Bright Future and Flexible. Yesterday, we saw this matchup take place, and it was a 3-0, but there were consistent signs of life for Flexible. It felt as if they were ever so close to cracking the code and turning the series around. So it's really going to be a matter of seeing whether or not they can come back today and make some of the key adjustments required to turn it around for them.
It's one of the great things about the GSL format, having these groups split into a double elimination bracket. What it means is teams get a chance for a rematch, a chance for revenge, a chance to adapt and overcome. And Flexible are going to be in that situation coming up next, and then Hilarious are going to find themselves in a very similar looking boat later on in Group D.
That's exactly right, Xavier. The thing about this match is very much a case of adjustment. Already we've seen the match, and it's just going to be a case of seeing whether they can make these adjustments.
You can take a look at some of our groups now to keep you updated in the bracket, because we are making our way. It's the conclusion of Phase 1 today, which means we're going to have our final 8 teams for that single elimination bracket tomorrow. So we can take a look and see the progress that the teams have made, because it's all to play for. It's quite literally life or death, Max.
It's true. Everything is now on the line. Groups A and B have already been wrapped up. All that remains is C and D for us to spectate here. And who remains now that Groups A and B have been finished up, Xavier?
So Bright Future and Flexible are the last 2 teams decided, or to decide between themselves. Bright Future were the team that if you tuned in towards the end of yesterday, you would have seen them go in head-to-head with Vision. Here we can take a look at Group A, though, and that's confirmation. TKO, they got closer than they did last time, but still not enough to stop Invaders, who will get that spot in tomorrow's Phase 2. They are obviously going to be up against Falcons tomorrow, so I guess today was actually the easy one. Falcons tomorrow, not a whole lot to envy about that.
No, not a whole lot to envy going up against Falcons in any round of the bracket, to be honest. This is a team that we're very much expecting to make it all the way through to the grand finals. You can see here in Group B, Falcons, they blitzed right through the bracket on day 1, and then Zenith versus Force, where Force made pretty easy work of Zenith to advance through to Phase 2.
And their prize for advancing out of Group B is to, of course, play Zeta Division in the next round, so also a tough fixture for them. Here's where we're going to start, though. Group C, Vision Esports scraped their way through that 5-mapper yesterday, sending Bright Future down to fight for their lives again against Flexible. And these teams going to play off today, the winner of which will play the winner of Group D, which was TFW.
That's right. The winner here for Group D, we're also going to see Hilarious and Cold Metal playing a little bit later. TFW already qualified through. Hilarious versus Cold Metal. Again, this is a matchup that we saw yesterday, and again, going to be a similar story of really going to be whether or not Hilarious will be able to make adjustments from yesterday, figure out what was going wrong versus Cold Metal, and turn it around here, as it is another repeat match.
That previous series between Hilarious and Cold Metal, there was trading of maps. It did seem like a bit of a scrap, so I think there's real legs in that one in terms of a potential upset for Hilarious if they can fix a few of the key problems. But we'll get to that when we get to that, and there's no need to rush. Bright Future and Flexible is coming up next, Max, so why don't you tell us a little bit about Bright Future?
Well, the thing about Bright Future is they're quite diverse in what they can play. They have a very flexible support line where we've seen FACEIT played a very solid Lucio on multiple rush maps, but then also came to maps like Circuit Royale and was very adept at heroes like the Baptiste, had a deep pool for flex supports as well. But it's not just support line flexibility that gets this team over the line, Xavier.
No, not at all. They've had flexibility across the board. Khaled, even though he has been the star player on Genji, we've seen him tearing it up against Vision Esports on that. On the map that happened at the start of that series, the Oasis, that was off stream, was actually a Tracer that he played, and they won that map as well. So Khaled's pool maybe a little bit deeper than the average Champ 3 Genji player, but a good option for Bright Future. We've seen Chaos flex around as well to a lot of different tanks, looking good on the Diva, looking good on the Hazard, even bits of Zarya, as well as, of course, Orisa and Ramattra, which are really just the bread and butter of the meta right now.
It appears that the Bright Future lads have a message for us. It's hidden on the phone lock screen. Unfortunately, I haven't got my spectacles on, so I will not be able to tell you what they are trying to communicate. Now we're going to take over a look at the Flexible lineup as well. You can see they've got nice little bulls on their jerseys as well. They're going for gold here. No messages to contribute to the camera, no phones. You can also see a couple of admins chopping it up in the back, and it appears that everybody is well and truly ready to get this match underway.
Nice jacket on the side of Flexible as well. So significant jacket gap as we come into this first one. Eyes on Bright Future, who, as we saw yesterday, one jersey short. So one jersey short versus one jacket. I don't like the odds.
I'd be deeply concerned about the jersey jacket paradigm that we see going into this series right now. You can see Bright Future, they were in the game. It didn't look paused either. You can see them walking around in spawn right now. So I'd have to imagine that we're just about to get this game underway. Doors soon to be opening. And really, I'm interested to see whether or not the Symmetra comes into play here, because Symmetra yesterday for Flexible on Koth looked like a real advantage for them. Looked like something where they had a bit of an edge. And if they can just adjust a few of their ult fights there, they might be able to turn this Koth into a bit more of a scrap than we saw last time.
Playing off either side of that key, which is of course what both teams are competing for, is going to be Ram versus Ram in this. Bap Lucio versus Bap Lucio and Genji versus Genji. Sly going to take on the mighty Khaled. Cass versus Sojourn in all. 6 really was the star player for this Flexible lineup, but Ashbourne has just been deleted before it even starts. A huge slow at the choke, and it has deleted them here. Great start here for Bright Future.
Already Bright Future walking right over Flexible. Very difficult first fight for them. No Symmetra in play, actually. We are going to see 666 making the swap over to the Cassidy. There is a Genji in play for Sly, but honestly, off rip, needing to retake, really playing into Khaled's hands in a lot of ways as he's on the Genji, already playing forward and holding position. And Anbu is going to take down 666 early on in the piece, has a nice little off angle on the side and just gets the cast step off that. Sly's going to trade Khaled though.
Still in this 4v4 if they want to keep playing, but separated after that pick. Sly will be an easy kill for Demi in the end, and they can maintain hold of this choke. They need to pick Khaled up from spawn though, but looks like with the slight ult advantage they have, Bright Future are going to be keen to try and use the ults here. The window, the annihilation behind Noon, all very close.
So many ultimates just around the corner for Bright Future, but they don't want to play slow and wait for them. They're already aggressing in the spawn of Flexible. You can see Ashbourne over to the Orisa right now. It's going to make things a bit more difficult for Chaos, but maybe a bit harder to push backline as windows exchanged in main, and 666 once again going to be the first to go down. Andrew's going to catch Astra as well, and nothing seems to be going the way of Flexible at the moment. Sly finds a trade onto Vacator, but Lucio will be back fast, and with no further trades, Bright Future remain in complete control, only spending one ultimate to clean up this fight.
Sly good for 1, but unfortunately Bright Future keep being good for 5, and 5 is bigger than 1 to this very day. Very early high noon from Ambu here to keep him in spawn. They're still in spawn, so they are just going to stay in the spawn. More time off the clock, and we're approaching last fight already for Flexible. They are struggling to get any ults online. It's going to have to be Sly potentially to get this one going with the Blade.
Yeah, Sly really does have to open this one up because everybody else on Flexible, they're a bit behind. The Blade is pulled. For Kato, I think he might have had his beat cancelled there. That could be an Ajax on map 1 here as Slide finds 2 kills. That is a huge fight win here for Flexible. You can see Chaos will trade Mysterious. That's going to slow down Flexible's advance a little bit, but that is a crucial Ajax. I think that was Ashbourne coming in with the spear, cancelling out the beat. Game-winning plays from the Flexible tank.
Huge swing of momentum here for Flexible, and it means they actually just get a 1-for-1 ult trade to retake what is one of the more difficult chokes. It's just a small door. Flexible, on the other hand, aren't going to hold as close as Bright Future were. They are backing it up to point now. They do have a beat to answer Khaled's Blade, and they even have a high noon to slow him down. Blade's coming out for Khaled now. Astro dies, so no chance to get the beat off. Khaled was all over him. High noon from 6 to try and turn it, but Terror Surge helps set up that kill. Still play a disadvantage as the annihilation comes through. Ashbourne is trying to disengage, trying to play his life, but they have to recontest quickly. Ashbourne is so low, fortified to try and stay alive around the corner, but no heals available. Chaos will clean this one up, and we're into desperate touch situation.
Oh, this is a very disparate situation, but Flexible, they do get the touch. Sly is behind, has the deflect as well to keep juggling on. Beat comes out from Astra in main. The touch continues. Astro's in a spot of bother, though, taking so much damage. Another touch is secured, but 2 members of Flexible go down. Mysterious has a window up, and it's matched by Demi. And in a 3v5, we're going to need a monumental clutch, and it doesn't seem like that's coming to fruition right now as Anbu cleans up the final kill in the fight. And Flexible, this feels like yesterday's series. Moments where they have real opportunities. They have clutch potential, but then they lose in these key moments. They lose when they have the beat drop available, and suddenly Bright Future are right back into it.
Talk about the 2 key players for Flexible here, and it is Sly and it is Six. These are the 2 players with the most experience, the ones who have played at the highest level previously. So it makes sense that they're going to have to rely on these 2 players in this situation, but need more from the rest of the team. These type of comps, it's a push-pull comp. It's about the macro. It's about the ult usage. Flexible, they need to come together more as a team here. while we've got a moment as well, just to keep everyone in the loop, it was a Freya ban coming up first from Bright Future, then a Kiriko ban to force for Baptiste here coming back from Flexible.
I was really quite interested to see that Flexible weren't rolling out on the Symmetra for Control Center. Maybe they're going to stick it here on Night Market. No, they're going back to the Genji. I really thought that Symmetra looked like one of their strengths yesterday, but instead they're completely pivoting over to the Genji. Going to have to wait and see whether this pays off. Ashbourne actually going to take down FACEIT early on in the piece, and 666 Old Faithful manages to find a kill onto Khalid as well. So that's a first fight win for Flexible on the books.
Adaptations here from Flexible. We saw them play a decent amount of the sim yesterday and had a real hard time keeping that sim alive in a lot of situations. Now, just on the Genji, they can play a more aggressive style. Astro can support Sly in a lot of these side positions, but Bright Future are wasting no time getting back into this. Chaos already swings wide, tries to drop a wall to isolate the Sojourn. Can't do it, though. Ashbourne and the team trying to back up to point, but they lose 6. They lose Astro. They're just bleeding out. Sly's going to drop into trades, but it's too little, too late, and it will be a very easy retake for Bright Future in the end.
Oh, heavens. Is there a doctor in the house, Xavier? Because Khalid is going on an absolute rampage, and it looks like Flexible could do with some medical attention. A very easy retake for Bright Future, as Khalid just goes slicing and dicing through the Flexible lineup. Now you can see Chaos up on the high ground. This is a position where he must be displaced. He must be forced away. Looks as if he has dropped down into main, though, and he's just going to play behind a little bit. Flexible slowly jockeying for position over on the side. Chaos speared into the corner and actually taken down early, but 2 DPS trades.
3v3 right now, but tank advantage for Flexible. They can stabilize around their Orisa and start poking out. They need to help Mysterious, who's had to lamp himself in the corner. Astro trying to get back to him now, but can't. Ambu's going to take him on the way out. Ashbourne's still trying to fight this, but Sojourn, so difficult to hit in these situations, and they're just going to slow it down. Flexible, wait for 5, and have another crack.
5-man retake available. Demi's actually going to pop the window, matched by Mysterious on the objective. Downpour comes out from Chaos as well. Ashbourne's Fortify going to survive through that one. Flexible, they want to push back in. They've got this Terror Surge in the pocket. They want to make it work. No beat drops available as well. You can see Ashbourne committing so heavily for it. 666 going to clean up a kill onto Khalid, even though the Terror Surge looked a little bit lukewarm. Overclock in name from Ambu is going to be taken down by 666. And you know what? The Mark of the Beast coming in incredibly clutch right now as 666 cleans house.
Great fight there. Ashbourne really using that Terror Surge more just to live than anything else, but it works out perfectly. It sets up 666 to get all those kills, and they are right back in this one. A much more even matchup on Night Market. Now they are going to hold close. It's going to be Beat versus Beat, Blade versus Blade. So all going to be about which Lucio can counter it out better as these Blades come in. Khaled's going to leap over the top already.
Oh, Khaled!
Early damage. Damage onto it, goes through. Beat's going to come out. Astro hits the Beat first. Vacator still has one of his own. He's still holding on to this Beat. He's coming back to the team. He's going to drop it now, but it's too late for Chaos. 6 gets the kill. Vacator was on the flank, I think, so not in position for that ult trade. Now Overclock from 6, looking to finish the job. It's only a 1-player advantage as Bright Future get out to coast. Looking for more here. Can't find the connect on the Genji. Has to slide forward. Takes the low HP BAP instead. Will confirm that kill and Flexible. They close it out.
Oh, FACEIT is having a very rough run with the beat drops in this series. Ajaxing on Control Center, and now an absolutely slow-cooked ultimate for Night Market. So late before Chaos goes down. Flexible now, they're in last fight territory. They win this one, they could close it all out. But Sly, he's gone down to Khalid alone on the coast. Bright Future, they've worked in on the side. They're already pressuring the flip, in fact, and somehow it's all falling apart for Flexible. They're fighting up in main. They might find a trade onto the Sojourn, but they flip the point.
Terror Surge to try and turn it. He's committing for the kills, but no kills come out from that Terror Surge. They windowed as well for it. They threw everything into those kills, but got none of them. Deflect from Khaled to survive, but wait, 6 is back. Astro's back. Player advantage now for Flexible. A chance to get onto point. They're pushing the Baptiste. Demi is in all sorts of trouble trying to jump over that one. But Ambu with a little peek. Nails for shot 2. Window back onto point now. Lots of damage onto Ashbourne. They can tiptoe back onto this deny the flip. Bright Future looking for more. Big spear off. He can't slide back on. Ashbourne with another clutch spear, and they are right back into this, but no, Chaos has found value with the downpour off screen, and they will be able to close it out. And they had control of a point. Bright Future, they didn't get the flip max. The touch is so hard.
Oh, the absence of a flip is absolutely game losing for Flexible. I'm not sure that they're even going to secure the touch. You can see Astro on the low ground desperately trying to roll out, but Chaos is there to mark it. Sly can't get the touch. And that's going to be Bright Future. Taking map 1 feels so similar to yesterday's series, Xavier. So many glimpses of brilliance for Flexible. But time and time again in these clutch moments, Bright Future, they edge them out. 666, a shining star for the roster. Crucial picks in the neutral. High value overclocks. But still, it just winds up not being enough.
Important distinction with some of the decision making with how Bright Future were playing that. You saw them invest a lot of resources into Khalid, as they often do, having FACEIT follow him around, pocket him onto the side position. So basically a 3-2 formation, 3 people in main, Lucio Genji on the flank. On Night Market in particular, you can pressure the point quite easily from that flank. So that's what they were investing resources into. When they were taking that beat Blade trade, this is a little bit rough because your Lucio is not really in position to beat the whole team effectively. They have to do a bit of speeding to get there, as we saw with Chaos dying before that beat came out. But in the neutral especially, you can see the value of it. You saw them getting that early kill on their retake right after that. That one worked perfectly for them. And the beauty of doing a fight like that, where you retake just through a pick in the side fight and you start pressuring the point, is it's cheap. You don't have to get into this big ult trade. Invariably, the longer the ult trade, the more ults that are invested, the team holding the point, especially on control, benefits more, because at the end of the day, it's a game about standing on the point.
It is a very objective-based game, Xavier. You're right. I was once told by a very great coach who now has the privilege of coaching at EMEA that Overwatch is a push and cart game. Apparently on payload, that is the name of the game. But objective is always essential. You can drag players away from the fight in main. You can drag them away from their strongest positions by touching the point, by leveraging the flip. And you can see how the absence of objective play really came back to bite them, as they could not win a fight, clean up the cap at the same time. Instead, the scrap continues, and Bright Future, they're able to just keep on trading it out, and suddenly it's an incredibly difficult situation in the final touch. I'm very interested to see how the series is going to progress, though, because it feels as if Bright Future really got to play what they wanted on map 1. They got to play their Genji, they got to play their ground tanks. So what are we expecting for map 2?
It's obviously going to be the choice of flexible here. I wouldn't be surprised if they shift it a little bit. I think when we've looked at Bright Future, the Orisa Kiri Lucio has really been, or in this case the BAP Lucio, but these type of Orisa Lucio comps have been the strength of Bright Future. So I expect them to take it somewhere different afterwards.
That's right. We should see something different, but now we're going to take a quick break and then we'll get right back into the action shortly.
I stepped into a realm of wonders where the sun kisses the sea. Two worlds inspired by each other. Two worlds making one. This land is calling, Saudi Red Sea.
Welcome back. Bright Future have taken the lead as they did yesterday, but now flexible with a chance to change the matchup, to change the direction, and it seems like that's exactly what they want to do, because they've picked Gibraltar here, Max.
Exactly right, Xavier. We're over to Gibraltar, and we've seen a real bit of a change up here. We see Diva and Genji bans coming out. No surprise to see a Genji ban targeted against Khaled. We know an incredibly potent, the Champ 3 Genji of the region. But a Diva ban in response from Bright Future. Interested to see how much this shuts down Flexible's plan for this dive-heavy map. This is obviously going to take us away from the Orisa, away from the ground tanks that we saw so much of on Jang Tower, and with the Genji ban coming out as well, that's one of Bright Future's best heroes taken out of play.
It certainly is. I can really get behind the Diva ban because this means probably going to be a Hazard Mirror, something we've seen Chaos find a lot of value with, so it seems to make enough sense for Bright Future. And normally, I'm often described as an agreeable young man, am I not, Max? But on this occasion, I'm going to have to disagree because we banned the Genji here from Flexible, which of course is a great hero for Khaled. But actually, on Gibraltar, I feel like this is one of the maps where heroes like Tracer can really be higher value anyway. I'm not convinced this is the greatest Genji map. So I don't know if they potentially wasted this ban. Maybe it would have been better served in that first game. I guess it was protected, so they can't. But I don't know if there was a better map to try and ban the Genji than this one.
I definitely see the vision there, Xavier. It really makes sense in the draft to occasionally take it to a map where it's no longer important for you to actually utilize a ban. Go to a map, for instance, where ground tanks are bad, and then you don't need to use a ground tank ban. Same applies here with the Genji ban versus the Tracer. As we were saying earlier, the Overwatch is a pushing cart game, and the reason Tracer is so good here on Gibraltar is because it's very difficult to control the objective on this map without a Tracer.
Very difficult indeed. We see Sly starting on that Tracer and will be mostly responsible for marking that car underneath. Wildness first corner is approached by Bright Future. Bright Future going to start on the Hazard as well, but they're starting with a Kiri Ilari here and a Freya Farah, so quite a shooty and spam heavy version of a comp, whereas Flexible, a more traditional dive looking comp.
Yeah, Flexible has a classic Gibraltar backline, the Ana Brig. This is a backline that's very difficult to dive, but ultimately doesn't have as much firepower as what we might see from Bright Future. You can see those 666 in classic fashion. Gets a nice little double bolt into Carlo early on, but Demi with the 3? Oh my days! An early opening from the Kiriko of Bright Future, and this is the firepower that I was talking about, Xavier.
Amazing work from Demi here. For note, he didn't see it yesterday or didn't catch for replay. Demi did play Kiriko up against Violet, playing a Kiri Tracer side fight quite a lot. And honestly, he was going toe-to-toe with Violet, no problem. So I think a bit of a demon here on the Kiriko, as it looks like they're really trying to take the fight here. Chaos is in so deep. He's been slept, he's been naded, he jumps backwards, he lives on a sliver of HP. Bakator also really low. Khaled is trying to relieve pressure. He's not just relieving pressure, he's taken down Mysterious. Khaled getting it all done on his own while his team scrapping out for their life. They go in, but Suzu saves Chaos, and despite that rough start, they're able to recover from it.
Oh, Chaos getting away with murder there. Slept up in main, anti-healed, and still manages to get the slash back to safety. Bright Future, they are well and truly playing a slim margin for error right now, but it's paying off. They're right already on second point with a 5-minute time bank to spare, and Flexible, they've got to be kicking themselves about that one. You can see Astro over to the Kiri as well, just matching Demi, not happy with the Brigitte already, but Bright Future, they've got this high ground control, and they're just dominating Flexible from top.
Downpour to try and catch them up. Has actually found someone in the back. Can Chaos confirm these kills? They're so low, but Chaos has to preserve their life, tries to get out, and Six has found a pick on the other side. Bowler onto Chaos as well. 2 for 6, and they will be able to stabilize off that.
666, so clutch with the Freya plays. You can see already taking down Chaos, getting double bolts early on in the piece. Looks like Bright Future don't want to let this one go easy. Khaled actually threw in the pulse bomb there. Mind you, the respawns favor Flexible quite heavily here, and they've only had to use the bowler shot to stabilize here. Bright Future, they used 3 ultimates in that turn. This is definitely where Flexible has a chance to breathe a little bit, maybe consolidate their ult economy, but before that can even start, Demi's going to use the rush up top.
Kitsune Rush is traded. Nano comes out onto Ashbourne looking for more value. Astro's going to pocket Mysterious, who just drop in, taking over a point touch here. Not really where you want your Ana. Mysterious trying to run underneath. Tracer is chasing them down. We'll be able to confirm that kill, but Ashbourne Downpour on point does find a couple. Now cleaning it up. It descends into a dogfight. There's one player behind. They're aware of it here. Nowhere for Ambu to go. Sly has the recall, so it will be a late death for Ambu. Another decent hold coming out for Flexible.
Flexible now, they've got to be happy with that fight. Now they are back in control. They do get to set back up on the high ground and make the crosses for Bright Future a little bit difficult. But you've got to keep your eyes on Khaled because he's sneaking around beneath and he might be able to start pressuring the cup, pulling people back. Ashbourne's in the back line though. He's all over for Kator. Kator has had to use the Captive Sun in response. He hams up backline as he takes down 6. He's doing it all from the high ground right now, and Sly's gone down as well. So it's falling to pieces for Flexible.
Big advantage now, player advantage. They need to keep FACEIT alive during this, and they can do exactly that. You saw Nenat Captive Sun coming out from FACEIT, and wow, didn't actually find any kills with it. What it did is it spooked Mysterious away, forced Mysterious to take a long rotation, which means this entire time Mysterious was doing a slow rotation on Biana. There's no healing for the rest of their team, so Bright Future were able to clear up on point, and now a massive time back for third point.
Yeah, 4 minutes on the third point. You're laughing all the way to the bank. It is an enormous time bank to have. Big nade from Mysterious there. 3 members of Bright Future caught up in that one. But still, not much of an issue because they're in the free push zone, Xavier. They get to keep on pushing that card for free. There's not a lot of pressure. But Chaos, he's going to waste no time at all. Takes down 6. Trade onto Kator. Boulder shot comes out from Anbu and all of this. But Chaos, he's in so deep and he's doing all the work. He takes down Mysterious. Trades keep going back and forth. But Bright Future... they keep winning these trades. They're going to keep getting card push from this.
Going to gain a few more meters out of this. The respawns will start to favour the defenders more and more the closer we get to the end of the map. So Flexible have another chance to stabilise, and they're getting close to a lot of their ults. Actually a bowler to try and find Demi and Chaos. A bit optimistic. There's a lot of damage. Chaos is just trying to build them a safe little fort to hide and regen in. Now Chaos comes out. Freya right up in that one. Saw the skill had been used. Easy down for 2 for Chaos. No chance to get to these ultimates. Desperate for a nano, but this series is on the run. Does have a nano for a retake, but the payload, it's been stuck up during a good part of this fight.
They actually didn't get all that much card push from the fight. Khaled has taken down Sly, but the trades from Ashbourne are so crucial. Now the nano boost comes out and 6 is going to find a crucial kill as well. Ashbourne taking down Demi, and Bright Future, they're actually not going to be able to close this one out. Flexible, they do have such close respawns, and Ashbourne doing exactly what is necessary. Going deep, trading supports, trading the backline, ensuring that they can continually play to their respawn advantage. If you play to trade at the end of third point on Escort, you can really leverage the advantage respawn, and you can just keep winning fights by going even.
Follow the fundamentals from Flexible here. Do not let the cart move. Make sure you find trades here on the defense. And Ashbourne's going to deliver again. Downpour over top. Didn't even need it, honestly. Absolutely smashes that backline. 2 kills. Payload, again, stuck, not moving. And Ashbourne has secured them another hold.
Ashbourne really doing exactly what's necessary and carrying very hard here with these continual trades. Flexible, they've got a couple of ultimates, but they're not the most potent of Pulse Bomb, really reliant on a good pick from Sly. Chaos already contesting the high ground, goes up for the slash. You can see Khaled's in a spot of bother because Sly's sneaking in from behind. Pulse Bomb comes out onto Chaos, and that's not going to net a kill. The block is going to immediately cancel that one out. Kitsune rushing main from Astro might net them a kill here as for Kator. He pulls the Captive Sun, but can't find anybody to kill, and Ashbourne once again up to his backline trading antics, Sav.
They just can't stop Ashbourne right now. Every time he is finding a kill as they try and swing this corner. And now with that player advantage, wait, not player advantage anymore. Ashbourne has gone too far. Now it's 4v4, but tank advantage for Bright Future. They can swing, they can move forward. They need to try and kill this Ana before the nano. Khaled is all over that, denies for Mini. Chaos coming to help out over the top, sets it up for a nice little melee for Khaled. Easy for him now, they're pushing for it. No nano to save them. Flexible going to leap back onto point, but it is desperation time. Downpour, high noon. That's an execution, and Bright Future close out the map.
Finally, Bright Future, they get that full cap. Flexible, they did a very good job on the third point, backs to the walls, continually getting those trades. But the problem is, this is a common theme on third point of Escort. Teams that have a respawn advantage, they can start to play for trades. On first, on second, you have no such luxury. You are not able to just continually trade it out and win the game. So ultimately, it does feel like Bright Future, they've got better fundamentals. They're getting more of these fights off more frequently. Ashbourne's good for a trade when their team's back is to the wall, but can the same be said for every other fight on the map, for every other position?
They were really stuck in a pretty poor position for long parts of this. It was actually normally when you're on the Ana version of Witness Comp, with the Ana Brig, the Ana Kiri, anything like that, you want to keep control of the space, you want time for your Ana to find nade opportunities, sleep punishes on the enemy hazard. Didn't really feel like we saw all too much of that from Mysterious, and the job is actually more difficult on the offense as well. So going to be tougher, but now Bright Future on the defense themselves, actually just going to lean into the mirror, play an Ana Kiri of their own.
The Anakiri does seem like the future in a way, because Ana, for Case, was already shown he doesn't mind playing the Ana, and on the defense, you can play quite far behind. You can play these back high grounds and just keep sniping away. Get line of sight of the objective, throw some nades from a very healthy distance. Meanwhile, Demi, probably going to do what Demi does best, continually flanking and finding aggressive angles, looking for picks through aggression. We saw Violet doing this yesterday, and we've even seen Demi doing it here. A three-piece early on. Let's see if Bright Future can get it done again.
Aggressive hold at the start, but a wall and a nade going to send Bright Future a little bit further back. They're going to come round to the main high ground where teams normally try and stall it out. You can see Sly just trying to sneak that payload underneath, but immediate pressure from all sides. Going to make this cart progress as difficult as possible, Bright Future, not give away any meter for free. Now Tracer pressure comes in. Tracer's fighting underneath. Kiriko's can come get involved, but you see good pocket onto Sly as the recalls are traded, and no big progress for either team.
Currently, the cart is just hammed up in main, taking it quite slowly here. Flexible, though, as they get the cart underneath. If Sly can just keep on getting this push, this is more of a win for Flexible than anybody else. Bright Future need to be concerned with blocking the payload, and you can see that Khaled is actually looking for a dive up top. Ashbourne sneaks in and gets a whole lot of damage onto the backline of Bright Future as well. A sleep onto Chaos up top, but the Kator's gone down, so this is starting to look pretty good for Flexible.
Trade for that one, but the kill is more than worth it from Sly. Now the rest are Flexible. They can walk forward, use this advantage. It's Bright Future who have to try and stabilize. And the Ana going down at that juncture means this last bit of nano charge might be a bit slow. So it's a race to ultimates now. Nanos and Kitsune Rushers coming right up.
Support ultimates just around the corner. You can see Khaled scrapping it out right now with Mysterious, but Mysterious will win that trade. Self-nade, recall force from Khaled. Now you can see the tank duel on the cart. Suzu forced. Chaos trying to fight the side a little bit. Gets a pinch on the backline. Crucial pick here for Chaos as he closes the gap on the backline. Takes down Astro. For Kator's traded by Ashbourne, but Mysterious is dead. There's no supports remaining for Flexible. Six received the nano somewhere in the mix, but was not able to find a kill. And it's looking like an uphill battle for Flexible. Sly finds another, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, Xavier.
Has Pulse Bomb if he really wants to clutch this, but 1v3 chooses to save it for the next fight. Probably wise. And that's 2 minutes off the clock, and while they've got it all but to the end of first point, now they're going to have to do all this work to clear this high ground to take control of the map again. And this can be a very long process on a map and a first point the size of Gibraltar's. So a lot of work to do. The Flexible, they have good ults to work with here, but one of their ults goes down. Astro dies early. That's going to be more time off the clock. Another late kill. And Bright Future just catching Flexible a little bit slow on their heels.
Catastrophe for Flexible here. We've seen it time and time again. This is Bright Future's playbook. They love to play fast. They love to catch you off guard. And Flexible, there's no better time for Bright Future to aggress than when Flexible has an ultimate advantage. So you can see Flexible, they've got a couple of ults online. Bright Future, they want to capitalize on that. They want to out-tempo before Flexible can take all of their best positions. The way that Sly might want to approach this here, getting towards the objective, set up a tap on the cart to peel people back a little bit. But you can see right now, Ashbourne is just scrapping it out on high ground. Sly's on cart, but has been marked out by Fakator. Goes for the pulse bomb on Khaled, but will not secure the kill.
Desperation, downpour on top onto Chaos, but they don't have the damage to follow this one up. They have killed Khaled underneath. They're trying to rotate aggressively, but Chaos is right there, receives for Nano. Little 2-bop onto Mysterious, looking for more, but Kitsune Rushers come out. But all sorts of problems for Astro right now. He's 1 HP. Chaos is hunting this down, now turns his attention onto the Hazard, kills that one to help protect his remaining backline. And 30 seconds left on the clock. Flexible in big trouble.
30 seconds on the clock. Sly hiding underneath the 666 is pushed to spawn. Chaos throws down the downpour. Won't actually catch anybody. Will be counted out by the Suzu. But again, Sly needs to be concerned with the touch. That ult advantage has dwindled to nothing. Now it's Bright Future that have all of the ults in play, and it is beyond an uphill battle for Flexible right now. They need a miracle, and instead they are delivered a dead honor before the fight can even begin.
Both supports down now. No chance of that nano coming online. 6 is closest to the Bob, but we are beyond miracle territory now. Kitsune Rush onto point, hunting down his low HP Hazard, trying to prevent the touch. Just prevent the touch, and that is going to be a full hold for Bright Future, who are looking dominant here against Flexible.
I quite like the idea of Flexible to completely change the matchup, to take us somewhere like Gibraltar, where it's not necessarily as good a double flex support map as the Circuit Royale, but it takes away the ground tank matchup. It changes things a little bit. The sad thing for Flexible is that that just didn't seem to be the solution for them. If we look over to map 3, apparently, dive tanks out of the question. The dive maps, that's going to be a full push, full hold situation. On King of the Hill, some of the ground tank matchups, they didn't win them, but they were definitely closer matchups for them. So I'd say going forward, they're just going to have to play for next map, next map, next map. Try take it to a flashpoint, maybe a push, but I'd say flashpoint probably priority number 1, and go for some more Symmetra play, because I feel like that's where we saw the most signs of life from them yesterday.
I think there's a real argument when you look at a lot of what EMEA especially has been running, but also a lot of the Korean teams back in OWCS Stage 2 over in Korea. There was a lot of Symmetra in play, so I think there's a real argument that currently Sim might still be the best option in a lot of these versions of comp. So if you're willing to lean into the meta, maybe the comp is just better, maybe that's an advantage you can find, because they're starting to run out of options a little bit here, Flexible. We tried for Brawl, we tried for Dive, both options failed. I think the Brawl was closer. The Brawl was closer, so I think stick back to that. You look at that Lijiang night market, and it was really winnable. And even though there's a lot of distance still in this series, they need to win 3 maps in a row. At this point, 2 maps down, just take your best swing at it now. What is your best option? What's the comp you feel most confident on? We just need to reverse a little bit of this momentum.
Yeah, truthfully, there are no easy answers here for Flexible. They played this matchup yesterday. They played against Bright Future yesterday. They were 3-0'd then. They're playing again, and it's honestly been a pretty similar story. Signs of life, but never enough life to get them over the line for a full map. Again, just take their best swing. Go for a matchup that seemed as competitive as it could be. They've done a good job in this series, keeping things varied, introducing lots of variety to the compositions at play, giving us a dive map, giving us a ground tank map. Now they see where they have a bit more strength. They just need to lean into the strength as best they can and try and take it from there.
If I'm Flexible right now, I'm probably leaning most into the concept of banning Hazard, because when you protect for tanks, you can allow yourself to play someone at Orisa. You also take Chaos off this hero that he's been doing a lot of work on, and then you can force a version of that matchup. It'll probably inevitably be Kiri Lucio if you go for one of those ground maps, like a Kiri Lucio type one on a New Junk City, something like that. That's probably where I'd consider going right now if I was Flexible.
Yeah, I would say that Kiri Lucy probably looks like the strongest matchup for them. But again, we're going to have to wait and see what they're going to throw at us for map 3, and we're going to throw into a quick break.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Welcome back. It is now, we talked about today being live or die, and Flexible, they are very close to falling on their sword. 2 maps down against Bright Future. One more chance to start turning this series around, Matt.
You're right, Xavier. We saw this yesterday. We saw Flexible fighting against Bright Future. We saw the scrap, and we saw very much of the same. So many signs of life, so many opportunities for Flexible to win some key fights, potentially turn some crucial moments. But time and time again, it's Bright Future coming out on top. A 3-0 yesterday and a 2-0 lead for Bright Future right this second. You can see they are completely comfortable, reclined in their chairs. Meanwhile, over on the Flexible side, they are in deep discussions, talking about how they're going to turn it around, how they are going to dig deep and change the outcome right now, Zav.
It's a tough one because we saw him play a brawl matchup, we saw him play a dive matchup. They lost both for dive by an even larger margin. Interested to see if they send it back to a more ground-orientated map, just because that was the one that seemed closest. I think those of you with your peepers peeled will be able to see that they were on Colosseo on their screens, and it looks like, yeah, we're going in.
We're here on Colosseo, and it looks like we're going to see Lucio Kiri for Bright Future, but an interesting switch up from Flexible. They're actually going to opt for the double flex on a map where the Lucio Kiri is quite common. Ashbourne playing the Diva as well, might be able to catch some squishy kills here, and you can see a fast rotation from Bright Future. This is classic Bright Future here, high tempo plays. They go for the backliners, but look at this peel. Great work from Ashbourne and Mysterious to slip through the cracks.
Heads up play from Flexible. They have flipped the flip, so they now are on the better side of the map for themselves as well. Stayed away from that danger. Genji's going to trade out a little bit. It's Ambu who's slowest as both teams try and reset, stabilize a little bit here. Demi with a slight Kitsune rush advantage, but it's Chaos who's taken so much damage, so we won't even get to that. They push back after the swing. Torpedoes will finish the job, and this is a great start for Flexible. Heads up rotation, but a great pushback after Bright Future under best no cooldowns.
So well done from Flexible there. They concede a little bit of card push, and in exchange, they win the fight. They even get a nice late stagger onto FACEIT. He will be in the same respawn wave as Demi. You can see 666 is actually already up on the high ground, fighting for this positioning. There's no supports online for Bright Future right now, so they need to be careful. Flexible now claiming the lead and just trying to pull the enemy in a little bit. You can see already Khaled is committing the dash, trying to force out Ashbourne, but Flexible, they're playing for position in main.
Good position for them, and they've got a slightly quicker Kitsune rush. If they pull the trigger on this fast, there will be a window to go before Bright Future can match the ults, but they need to go now. They've lost Astro. He can't cast it. The worst possible start. Now they're going to dive onto point, and Flexible. The opening was there, but just the worst possible trade.
Such a disastrous trade for Flexible there. You can see now they're closing on a wealth of ultimates, but even worse for them, Ashbourne is going to die off the payload as Baby Diva. That is going to stagger them onto a completely different respawn wave and really slow down Flexible here. With this double flex support lineup, they cannot play too aggressively, or they will be caught out by the Lucio Kiri of Bright Future, and they need to wait for their Diva. So already Bright Future, you can see they're aggressively positioned, and they're just going to close in on Sly.
Opening pick out of nothing, and now they can choose to push for advantage. Khaled is going to drop the blade over the top, but there's pressure on the backline from this Diva, but Khaled connects onto 6, takes down 1, another one to take down Astro, and that is going to be a clean fight. And Flexible, after a strong start, they've just lost people early in both of these fights, which mean these big ult trades, the ult advantage they have Flexible, they've never been able to use it, and they've gone from a tremendously great position to now about to concede checkpoint.
So tough for Flexible. You see 2 fights in a row there. Ashbourne being staggered out a little bit, dying off the payload. Flexible now, they have this wonderful ult bank to retake with. They need to contest card. They're not even going to do it. They've given checkpoint already. Now we see a deep push here from Ashbourne. Kills converted, 1-for-1 trades as the overclock from Anbu is over on the coast. Beat from FACEIT to keep them in it. But regardless of the outcome here, down comes the orbital ray from Mysterious, and Cart just keeps on rolling for Bright Future, even though Anbu will fall for FACEIT as well. Flexible, they're winning the fight by the numbers, but look at this. Bright Future, they've won it by meters.
They've won it by meters already, double the distance of Flexible, and even though they actually forced a pretty bad beat out of FACEIT, only caught 2 of them, so the Ray just got more value as it kept going. They win an important fight, but They're on the back foot now. Blade comes out from Slide, trying to make short work of the Kiriko. Successful too. Takes on the Genji, but kind of takes that one down. Still positive player advantage for Flexible. Low HP. Bomb is forced, actually. Trying to deal with this baby. Now the Kiriko swing. Ambu, just impenetrable to damage. He's got the moves. 1 HP. Chaos is going to drop the bomb. Bright Future think they can come back into this. Ambu finds a kill. How on earth has he been allowed to get away with this? Ashbourne trying to hunt down these low HP players. Can't find the connect. Matrix comes in. Chaos is back there. And Bright Future have punched it out. Maybe, but maybe not. 6 still trades.
6 wants it. He gets a trade. He pulls the clock, but the clutch is not there. Sly finds a late trade once again. These are good trades for the side of Flexible, but absolute tragedy for them as Astro misses a couple of key shots on Andrew. Andrew manages to escape and then actually take down Astro, and Bright Future, they get away with a criminal clutch. Now Flexible, they're coming back into it with no ultimates. Bright Future, they've got 2 in the pocket. They've got more on the way. You can see Astro flanking over to the side, trying to find an angle, trying to carry the game, but the Kitsune Rush comes out. Ashbourne's looking for the kite, and 6 once again delivers. Sly as well.
Ambu now trying to slide behind, keep himself alive, but they've lost a lot of people. Chaos all the way on the other side. Does find 2 kills, both supports taken down. Kiri Juno are pretty vulnerable to a Diva, really, compared to a Kiri Lucio or even a Brig or something like that. Ashbourne's going to stabilize as they try and hunt down the low HP, trying to pocket 6 out of this. 12 HP, 10 HP. It's just about okay, and the healing will come through. Flexible, a bit of a respite here, but a long way back.
A very long way back indeed, and now they're fighting on a long stretch. This is where Andrew's overclock can be so deadly. You can see already Mysterious caught out a little bit in the open, being pushed. The overclock will finish that kill. Sly finds a trade onto Facator. There's a very real chance for Flexible to turn it here, but Astro goes down. That means there's no healers remaining. Bright Future, they will have their Sojourn traded out in the back end of this, but they still have the close spawns turned on, and the Diva Chaos has managed to slip over the cart and keep adding meters to the lead here, Zab.
Ashbourne stuck behind, going to try and regroup with the team, but it might be a really late DMEC. Doesn't have a self-destruct to get back into it as well. Ashbourne playing for their life, gets back to the team, but Bright Future, they smell weakness. They keep pushing. They force a very defensive Kitsune rush out from Astro. Now Chaos can kite when back up to his own team as well, but they've lost Vacator in all of this. The push keeps going. Ashbourne has forced the DMEC, trying to kill the baby now in all of that. Can't find the, can find the kill thanks to Mysterious. Confirms that one, and Flexible had to burn the Kitsune rush, but they stabilize.
They have stabilized, but it's really so important for Flexible that they don't just win fights on their own side of the map. They need to push into enemy territory. They need to turn off these close spawns for Bright Future and start winning some of these disadvantaged fights. Now we see a push from Ashbourne, a slide back from Andrew, just jockeying for position right now. But really Flexible, they want to leverage some of these ultimates. The Orbital Ray comes out from Mysterious.
Trying to push forward with that, but they need kills. Vacator has the beat, but they're just trying to kite it for now. Bright Future trying to stay step ahead. Beat to turn the fight now. Coming back into this one. Now coming through. High noon available from 6 to maybe try and relieve this pressure. Blade over the top from Sly. No. Trying to take these low ones, but can't find anything. Now he's just showing everyone his sword, but he's got no one to slash at. Completely isolated now. And it will be a clean fight for Bright Future there.
Bright Future just too slippery in that blade turn. You can see the Orbital Ray comes out from Mysterious, but it's so difficult for them to actually close the gap and find a kill within the Ray turn. Vacator was ready with the beat. He hits the counter beat to bail out Khalid, and then that's the fight already done and dusted. Flexible, they don't have anything more to reinforce their push. Khalid aggressively positioned right now. Close spawns once again turned on, and a deep dash in over the top ropes, and he manages to, with maximum style points, take down Mysterious. Goes for more. He'll catch 6. He'll catch Astro. Khaled is good for absolutely everybody right now with an unreal blade over the top.
Over the top, Juno out of the air. Can't ask for more from your star Genji player. Delivering here in this elimination game, and he has set Bright Future up for a potential full cap and a ceiling of their spot. But they have to kite this high noon first. 6 will create a lot of space for his team. No meaningful damage with that, and a chance for Chaos to repush. Self-destruct allows him to be more aggressive. Ashbourne has the same, and is trying to keep this backline contained and just move that robot away from the full cap zone. 6 has found Pallet in the back. Player advantage. Bomb invested now. Chaos going to do the same off-screen, looking for a remake behind here. Ashbourne doesn't find anything, but 6 is denied for remake onto Chaos. Overclock from Ambu. I don't know if it's enough. Getting marked by the Diva now. Just trying to back it up, and it looks like Bright Future running for the hills, just trying to keep their players alive.
Six continually good for it in the clutch. We just need more players to dig deep for the side of Flexible. You can see time and time again, Six is delivering with these crucial picks. And now we see a counter dive coming out from Ashbourne actually as Chaos tries to contest the high ground. Not going to get much done there. But Flexible, they've got a long way to go. Mysterious is taking lots of damage. Bright Future, they continue to have the close spawns enabled. You can see Ashbourne torn between positions as a beat push comes out. Bakato pops the beat and it's going to be Six going down. Rally comes out from Astro, but where is he? Where's the fight taking place? Six is gone, Sly is gone, there's no DPS remaining for Flexible anymore. Card is once again pushing for Bright Future. It's falling apart.
Mysterious now really far away. Astro's going to actually find a trade with a tail end of that rally. An important trade to keep Flexible alive, but they are running out of time. 1 minute left on the clock. They need to be careful not to lose anyone here as they wait for their respawns. But Demi already dropping his Kitsuna as they won't fight straight away. Genji isolated on the side. Deflect does a lot of damage from Khaled, but can't finish the kill. The Ray and behind you have relieved a lot of pressure from Flexible, but you invest 2 ultimates, you need kills, and no kills will come.
Such a difficult time for Flexible here. It feels as if they're always trying to push with their orbital ray turns. Perhaps they should angle more for counters at this stage because it's so hard for them. Six will find a late kill onto Vacator though, and that will mean that Flexible, they actually get to push the cart down towards the middle. We're closing in on last fight territory though, Zav. 25 seconds on the clock. All to play for right now. Flexible, they need to chain win fights or this will be the end of the line for them.
Life on the line. Flexible have no choice but to play it perfectly. They've got a self-destruct, they've got a blade to work with. Sly is going to kick us off. Khaled's going to respond with that one all over Fakator. Both Genjis find kills, but Khaled has found more. 2 versus 2. Still a chance here, but the trades are good. The trades will favour Bright Future. Chaos still has the bomb. Sly continues to try and clutch out, trying to cling onto his team's chances on this. Lots of damage there. Can they confirm the kill? Trying to get the deflect. They keep it alive for now. Both teams are fighting around, but Chaos finds it. Ashbourne has the self-destruct. Just playing for time, desperate to keep these respawns alive, needs to somehow find a way back into this mech, simply can't though, and that will be Bright Future cleaning it up. 3-0 for the second time in a row against Flexible and confirming their spot in Phase 2.
History repeats itself as Bright Future close it out once again. And honestly, you have to give credit where it's due. Such a strong performance from Bright Future yet again. If anything, this was a more dominant victory than what they had yesterday. Even though there were signs of life here and there from the side of Flexible, it was ultimately a very, very solid performance coming out from Bright Future. Already, we've seen this matchup happen, not once, but twice. And now we're also going to be moving over to another familiar matchup, Xavier.
Very familiar indeed. Cold Metal are going to take on Lularius next. Our final decider game over in Group D. 7 of our teams are confirmed in Phase 2 already. 1 spot remains, and Cold Metal, the team that have come all the way over from Pacific, a very long way to come to go out in groups, Max.
You wouldn't want to travel halfway across the world to go out in groups, but to their credit, Cold Metal, they're not looking like they are postured to go out in groups. They played against Lularius yesterday, and it was nothing short of a dogfight, but they did come out on top of said dogfight. Many situations where they had advantages, they squandered them. They fell victim to attacker's advantage on Watchpoint Gibraltar. A 3-minute time bank versus a 1-minute time bank. Everybody knows that smaller time bank, it inflicts irreparable psychic damage to the team that pushed faster. And as a result, Cold Metal, they did let that map slip through their fingers. But this time around, we're going to have to wait and see whether or not Cold Metal can actually do it when elimination is on the line. We saw some rocky performances coming out from them, but we also saw the way that Lularius' mental shifted throughout the game. Looked like they were having lots of fun, really enjoying themselves. But as soon as they started to feel as if perhaps, they could upset the underdogs, maybe their mental shifted a little bit, Sav.
Did seem to be a downwards trend as well. Yesterday in their elimination game, in the start of that lower bracket as well, they were involved in an absolute dogfight against Zonex as well. So it has been a stressful path for Lularius to this point. They've got one more shot to turn it around, and this is the beauty of the GSL groups. You get a rematch here. You get a chance to fix some of your problems.
We're really going to have to wait and see whether or not Lularius do adjust, whether they do fix their problems, or if it's just going to be a repeat of yesterday's series where we see dogfight after dogfight where Cold Metal seem to have a little bit more flexibility and depth in their hero pool. We saw lots of interesting comps coming out from Cold Metal yesterday. They even had the audacity to pull out the Life Weaver on Eichenwald. But at the end of the day, these are comps that have solutions.
they have a lot of solutions as well, but we'll have to wait and see, because Cold Metal, they have a lot to work with. In theory, they have the experience. Lolarius come in very much as a new team, a new group, more unknown players, but there's a real chance for them here. Cold Metal, I don't know if you would have asked those Cold Metal players before the event if they thought they would have such a tough time against TFW, if they expected to go out of group. So Cold Metal also needing to recover from that bad result yesterday.
Exactly right. It's interesting to see where Cold Metal actually had their expectations set coming into the tournament, whether they were coming here more for fun than anything else, or whether they were coming in with very high hopes of dominating their group. I think we wanted to take a look at a couple of the groups now, see how everybody has done.
Keeping us up to date with all of this as the group stage will be concluding today at one way or another, one final spot in phase 2. All to play for, and of course, the winner of this next game, this Cold Metal Lolarius, that team will go on to play Team Vision as well. And with some of the frailty that Team Vision has shown so far in this tournament, maybe feels a little bit more optimistic than it did back at the start of the week. So a lot to play for, a lot worth investing in as well. A lot of pressure on Cold Metal, really to do their region justice. The only representation of Pacific at the last chance qualifier, obviously hoping to join their comrades up in the Esports World Cup main event. That'll be a big ask for sure with all the other teams, as we are going to get eyes on the players now. Mean Machine, never short of a smile.
Never short of a smile, never short of a comic prop to get his team in the mood for a match. Really, all smiles around for Cold Metal right now. They are well and truly happy to be there. I believe we're eyeing out our emergency sub right now. We've got to remember that one of the members of Cold Metal were actually unable to make it because of some visa issues, so they did have to have an emergency European sub step in. Over on the Lolarius side, also looks like everybody's having a good time as they load in. Perhaps a little bit more serious here for them.
Yeah, all to play for. We talk about the key, the spot in the Esports World Cup being the end goal for a lot of the teams here. But we're going to jump straight into it because Jang Tower, blink and you miss it, or don't blink and you might miss it as well. But it's been a strong start, apparently, for Cold Metal. First fight going to go their way, and now we are seeing hero shifts coming in from Lolarius. Back onto the Diva, very much a comfort pick for Nawaf. Cloud on the venture, again in the zone of comfort. I think Lolarius have really lent into a lot of this venture, a lot on this Diva. This is where they feel most comfortable, this is where they feel strongest, but they need to do it here on this all-important game.
Exactly right. We can already see Kyron aggressing and taking down Cloud. Yesterday, Cloud on the venture, one of the highest points for Lolarius, but you can see Cold Metal, they're happy to just crash out here and clean up this fight. Mean Machine will be traded out, but that's a Lucio. We all know Lucio is going to be back fast nonetheless. And Lolarius, they're not giving it up easy though. MSCG is actually going to be traded out as well later on in the piece. And this is suddenly a different story. You can see a different respawn wave for the flex support. That means the Lolarius, they're going to be able to step up a little bit more, take more positioning.
Chance to get over this bridge, normally one of the most difficult areas as well. Could start with a potential point touch coming out from Cloud, or can just go the far way round through the White Room. Looks like they do want to come over this bridge, but they have to be careful walking onto all these ults from Cold Metal. Barrage ready to go. Nawaf needs eyes on the sky, but he also needs eyes on his HP. He's so low already. If he gets Steamec, this Barrage is wide open. Kyron's taken a lot as well, but they've separated Cloud during all of this. Nawaf's still on the back foot, but they just managed to keep him contained out in his choke. Koala's going to try and find the trade. Does Matrix coming in, but only good for one. And Lolarius sent back to spawn.
Tough one for Lolarius. So difficult to contend with the emergency sub on Hitscan. Thirst putting in the work right now. High Noon invested into that fight for Cold Metal, but everything else available for this final turn. Lolarius, they have a little bit of a beat drop advantage. That could be a huge difference maker. If Mean Machine can't get his beat up on time, Lolarius might actually be able to leverage this little advantage. But if they take the fight slow, Mean Machine is going to have that beat. You can see he's closing in on it. Speed 95. He has the barrage. He's poking him from the side. Kyron's taking a lot of damage, but Cloud goes down first again. We are going to see the super sub doing it all. Beat comes out. Better beat from Mean Machine. Speed's traded to 4v4 Zav.
Walking in, trying to follow this up. Lolarius have found two, getting the better of this ult trade. Mean Machine had the later beat, but it hasn't made the difference so far. Bomb available for Kyron here, but just going to let this one go after the bad start to that ult exchange. Boop, not quite off the map for Koala. So Lolarius keep themselves in this one, have the self-destruct to work with, but they have to worry about this barrage from Speed.
The barrage is a very difficult ultimate to use in this matchup. Lilarius, they have multiple tools to deal with it. They have a hit scan that can poke you out of the sky. They have a Genji that can deflect the barrage into your face. And then, of course, there's the D.Va that only has to hold up defense matrix to eat your entire barrage. Really, we need speed to use it late or be sneaky with it. And you can see he's going for the sneaky approach. Not sneaky enough, though, as the Suzu comes out. The matrix is good, and the hit scan will poke him right out of the sky. Now we see a deep push from Noir as he takes down Mean Machine. Karen finds a trade, but will one trade be enough? It looks like the answer is no, as there are more and more kills coming through for Lilarius right now. Noir actually going to have to use the bomb to get back into suit, but that is a tough fight for Cold Metal.
Speed going to swap off for Farah now, straight back onto the Genji as Kyron will manage to preserve their mech, regroup with their team, and we're looking at mostly a neutral, a high noon for the retake here from first, but Karom is much closer to that beat, as beat charge being a defining factor in a lot of these fights, both of them in favor of Lilarius so far.
Lilarius really do have a substantial advantage at this point, and Cold Metal, they're taking a slow fight on the point. You can see Mean Machine fighting for a little bit of space on the side. High Noon comes out from Thirst, actually, and a beat right into it from Karom. It's a beat in, but there's only the Lucio pushing! Perfect eat from the D.Va there to save his life, and Cloud's going to take down Kyron at the same time. A very ropey situation converted into an even situation. Blade comes out from Cloud. He's in incredibly deep, takes down Thirst, and he will be slicing and dicing through the remainder of Cold Metal. Kyron invested the bomb somewhere in there, but it's not going to be enough.
Make the best of a bad situation. There seemed to be a miscommunication because Karom wanted to beat and he wanted to fight that High Noon, but the memo didn't quite make its way to the rest of his team, but Nawaf manages to save him. They invest the Blade after and they do convert it. Now Kitsune Rush trade coming up on point. Speed's going to try another hero now. Tracer, probably the hero he's played the most and a bit of a comfort pick. Kitsune Rush Trade is going to come out. Mean Machine nearly has a beat to throw in, but Qualifier is going so aggressive with this High Noon. Looking for damage, but he is good though. Beat still 5% away from Mean Machine, but they found 2 kills. Magic's ended up off the map. Cloud with a trade, but the D-Mech means it's a significant advantage, and this will be last fight. They had a 99% lead to begin with, Cold Metal, and they should be good for the cleanup. That's a full wipe. That'll be the first round from Cold Metal, but anything but easy.
Quite an ambitious push there from Lilarius at the end. They tried to go in fast and early with the High Noon, but the truth of an early High Noon is that the D.Va will still have full defense matrix. It will be very difficult to get that shot off. We saw multiple High Noons on this Lijiang Garden counted out by the presence of a little bit of defense matrix. The D.Va's really working double overtime shifts right now, eating every barrage, every High Noon, really making it so difficult for the Cassidys or the Farahs to get an ult in edgewise.
This is off topic, sorry Max, but it looks like he's got tinfoil wrapped around his headset. Some kind of tinfoil hat situation for first. Need to get eyes on that again between the maps. So keep your peepers peeled for that one as we go into Control Center. Going to be a similar looking comp from the WAF, leaning into that D.Va. Venture again for Cloud, strong on these smaller maps, but it's Ram from Kyron. This is going to give them significant advantage in the front line here, Cold Metal. Lilarius, they have to find a way to go past and get onto this Baptiste. But if they can get onto that Baptiste, real high chance to kill.
Cold Metal taking so much space early on with that shield, but you can see now Cloud creeping in, looking for an angle. Will be flashbanged out and taken down immediately, though, as there's not enough members of Lilarius pushing in at the same timing. It feels like their comp is a little bit scattered. The presence of both the Cassidy and the Venture, the D.Va as well. There's a couple of heroes that really want to push all at once, but then there's also heroes that need to take things a little bit slower. Cassidy cannot get in there at the same timing as the Venture, and if there's not a wide open flank for you to take, it can be very difficult to find your way in. You can see now some shifts coming through as Nawaf and Cloud are both going to make swaps over to the Hazard and the Genji.
Again, the key here is aggression. They want to connect onto this Baptiste. Magic is going to maybe have a hard time playing the Bap himself as his team goes deep, but they force an early lamp out as well, and this makes the Bap vulnerable. Chance to walk forward, looking for their opportunity. Karom has a beat advantage in all of this as well. Lead comes through. Kyron's going to try and mark the choke, but Cloud through. 2 for him, takes care of both DPS, and they have just busted the flank wide open there, and that is going to be a quick and free retake.
An easy retake here for Lilarius, and they're going to be so happy with that. After losing first fight, the second fight is so incredibly important. That is where you either get yourself aggressively snowballed or you turn it around before the enemy team can get their ultimates online. This time around, they have prevented a snowball. They're actually back in control, and now Lilarius, they have their own ultimates to play with. Window comes up in main from MSCG. Karom doesn't actually want to beat over at this time. Much more conservative, much more disciplined. Now the beat comes through after some skills have been burned, and you can see they're finding value. value with this. They're getting so much cleave damage in with the block. Thirst pops the high noon, but he will go down. 1-for-1 trade. Speed pulls the blade in the back. He's looking for a target in the side, but he can't find it. And in the meantime, Marjed good for 2 with the clutch window. Kyron pushes through with the annihilation, finds a kill in response. 1-player lead for Lilarius right now. Make it an even fight as the downpour catches up Kyron on point. Shots from either side, but Kyron and Speed are doing it all.
1v2 right now. Nawaf going to take down Remarch, and Koala is back just in the nick of time to help his teammate out as well. Mean Machine is back in there finding a trade. First slides onto point. Lap is perfect from Magic, keeps Koala alive. Surely First can find the kill. He can. Leaping back onto the point. Cold Metal do have control here, so with Karum going down, they'll eventually give it up. Lilarius there. Big clutch for Cold Metal, because that was a messy old fight.
Monstrous clutch there for Cold Metal. It really did seem like it had slipped through their fingers post downpour, but no, they managed to pull it back from the brink time and time again. Ult economy has been more or less reset, with the exception of Cloud, who is nursing a blade in the back pocket. But while he sets up for the blade, Cold Metal, they push main and they just trade out backline. Koala, Karom, Majed, they all go down as Nawaf and Cloud are setting up over on the coast, and that is not the type of fight that you want to be taking. Nawaf appears to have been slowed off the map by the Ramantra as well. That's going to be an ult charge donation as Lilarius, they get staggered out as well in their ult advantage fight.
Great identification from Cold Metal there. Now, while they were trying to set up on the flank, there was a weakness in main, but Baptiste was targetable, so run over Majed and Koala during all of that. But now a quick repush attempt. Cloud still has this blade. No immediate response available. Cloud is half HP as they force Kyron back. Has the form used. Kyron's going to get up to this annihilation. Pops it as well. Goes aggressively all over Cloud. Can't use that. It's a lamp to keep everyone else safe in the back. They're just trying to survive this. A window has been thrown in as well. The WAF a little bit separated. Karom tries to boot them back, but everyone else was going backwards. Cloud with the blade in the back, though. He's found one. He needs a second. Slash, but the boop is perfect from Mean Machine. Peels them out, and Cold Metal a significant advantage to close us out. And the beat. Karob is coming back with the beat, but it's a day late, Max, and it might also be $1 short.
A shortage of dollars and days, as unfortunately we are going to see similar shades to what we saw yesterday with Cold Metal versus Lilarius. A 2-0 here on King of the Hill. Once again, scenes where there are those signs of life, but when it comes down to the clutch, when it comes down to these really close scraps, it's a consistent theme that we are seeing Cold Metal work their way ahead. Honestly wondering what we're going to see next in the series, though, because once again, is it going to be a case of let's change the matchup, let's get them off their comfort picks? Because I seem to recall Cold Metal playing quite a lot of Orisa yesterday. I didn't see Orisa here on Lijiang, Xavier.
No, not at all. Orisa was banned on that first map, which might have caused some of the problems. Meanwhile, just a little sidetrack on Headset Watch. I think it might be Bubble Wrap. Maybe they're brand new out of the box. But in terms of maps and bans and picks, last time we saw these two teams go up against each other, it was the push-pull, these brawly type comps where Lilarius really had their biggest problems. Cold Metal, they were kings of the kite. They were able to win the macro through that a lot of the time. Didn't seem quite as easy for them today. Felt quite messy on that Jang Tower fight that Lilarius definitely could have won. Was a few clutches that ultimately turned it. But when we last saw them play, it was actually the dive map, when it's not really about the push and pull in the same way. It's more just about how good you are on these dives, on your peel with your backline. It's a very different type of game. That was Gibraltar yesterday, and I wonder if we'll just get sent to the same place here.
Would not be surprised at all to see a repeat of the Gibraltar. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you might as well go to the map that you won yesterday and hope that Cold Metal did not adjust. Hope that they just play the same way. Ultimately, these were all very close matchups, though, so I really do think it's entirely possible for Lilarius to win one of these rush, push, pull matchups as well. We were talking yesterday about how they could win in these ult fights. They could go much faster and try and out-tempo their opponent, or they could slow things down. It seems like here on Lijiang, they tried to go for the let's go faster approach, pushing in aggressively with the high noons, with the Kitsune rushes. But maybe they need to try the opposite. Maybe they need to try take a little bit of a slow neutral and counter out ultimates. Let the enemy go first tempo, weather that initial storm, and then push back in with your own ultimate.
It's a little bit about reading the situation as well, because there was a couple of times there where, particularly on the beat, Karom was ahead of Mean Machine. If you can ever figure out you've just got that 10-20% advantage, it's a huge window to push with if you are quick with it. And if you get that one, it can be a real snowball in terms of winning this fight. Great opportunity for the next fight. Kron was consistently ahead on that first map. I wonder if they can key into that a little bit more, because while we didn't see it on stream, TFW did beat Cold Metal yesterday. They played a lot of those ground tank maps, and while we saw Cold Metal being king of the kites, they couldn't kite TFW. TFW, they would use the support ult, they would use it aggressively and close, and then they would keep pushing, and they would be able to find these kills. I think there is room for that, especially in these advantage situations, but they need to play both versions of the game here, because Cold Metal, an experienced team over from Pacific, they're going to be able to read the situation as well, so really need to try and one-up your opponent in terms of what you're doing.
It really is a case of tracking the ultimates and reading the situation. If you get those faster beats, leveraging that advantage is crucial. If you take things too slow, if you allow the enemy team to charge up all of their own ultimates, then you do just wind up in a big, long scrap. And we've seen already these big, long scraps, they tend to be favoring Cold Metal by the numbers. Interested now to see whether or not we do wind up on Gibraltar, going for the dive matchup again. We saw it yesterday. Imagine we're probably going to see it again today, given it is where Lolarius had the most of their strength. But again, the push-pull matchups might not be a bad shout either for them.
One thing we've also seen from Lolarius, especially on some of these smaller maps, is they lean into playing no-hit scan, playing a Venture May type thing, and playing these really hard brawl teams. I think if anything, it's probably the reason that ultimately Cold Metal rolled out on the Pharah. They were maybe expecting a May Venture, but actually got one-upped by the change. Because obviously Pharah, very good into these close-range DPS heroes, because the Pharah can just outrange them from the sky, beam them down, chunk them down before they can even get close. But I wonder maybe on like a Circuit Royale or something, some of these maps that are quite limited and straight, if there is room to go somewhere like that, maybe even ban a Pharah and play that May Venture and try and lean into that style as well.
We could also play a little bit of band theory, I suppose, where we could take it to a map like New Junk City, go to a flashpoint where Pharah is quite weak, and then you can play your best pick and you don't even need to invest a ban in order to enable it. There's multiple options here for them, but we're just going to have to wait and see what map they've rolled out into, because it does look like players are in the server right now, so we're being held in suspense for a moment. Mean Machine all smiles as per usual. This guy is so happy to be here in Riyadh right now.
Absolutely buzzing. Got his favourite prop, got his team, and he's got a one-map advantage in this elimination game. Can't ask for much more as we wait and see where we're going. Gibraltar was the map we picked last time. I'm trying to lean my head over to see what they can see on their monitors, but I think we're about ready to get into the game, so we can get this action underway. Lolarius looking to respond.
Lolarius, they are still in good spirits from the looks of things, not looking as solemn as they did yesterday after a map loss. So that is a good sign for them that they are not defeated, they're not crushed. Mind you, this is an elimination game. It's all on the line right now. It is time to play for this roster. And if they do lose this series, they will be done here for the last chance qualifier. They will be out of the competition. This is our final qualifier for the top 8. So we're going to have to see. It does look like the bans have come through, and some interesting bans from the look of it. A Venture ban coming out from the side of Cold Metal, but that was a second ban. A first ban of Winston, which is a tank protect, as we are on Gibraltar.
Kyron has played a lot of the Winston, but also has actually lost Gibraltar twice playing the Winston so far. So we'll see if this actually maybe works out being a bit of a silver lining from Cold Metal, as it forces them to play a slightly different version of the comp. But a Diva Mirror on Gibraltar, Nawaf will not mind this at all. They're also going to play the Kiri Brig version up against this Anna Brig too.
This feels a little bit like last series, where I'm surprised to see the Venture ban coming out on a map like Gibraltar. It's the same as banning out Genji. This is a Tracer map through and through. So I'm very surprised to see Venture taken out of the pool here, because Venture is so difficult to execute here on Gibraltar. Perhaps a little bit of a mistake here from Cold Metal, but we'll have to wait and see whether it actually pays dividends for them. Widowmaker from Speed up in the back right now, just sniping away, forcing Lolarius to play passively and hide behind. They don't have a Tracer, so they're really going to struggle with cart control here. Between the Widow watching cart and the Tracer tapping it for Cold Metal, they have a great comp to touch the point.
Seems like Cloud would have been more comfortable playing the Venture here and just being the point bot essentially to match this Tracer, because same as was true in our previous series, it's harder for the Genji, but initial high ground already for Kyron. Worth keeping our eyes on Speed as well, who has been the flex DPS, but flexing onto the Widow here. They've got the early high ground, and Speed has found his first dime. Cloud will go down, and this point touch is going to get even harder. Nade forces for Suzu, but now not a lot of tools to save Koala. Boots back to safety, just about lives. But Cold Metal, they have the nano and they have all the space.
all of the space in their hands. You can see Cloud retaking up on the high ground right now. He wants to find an angle to catch some of these backliners, perhaps get on top of Speed, and he might have just found his timing. He's on top of Speed right now, but he misses a crucial shot. Hook back up from Speed, raw confidence as he's now in line of sight of his Brigida, starts to get some healing, and it does look like Cold Metal are once again closing out this fight. Cloud cannot find the kill onto Speed. Speed remains up on the high ground. Kitsune rush from Marja, doesn't want to let it go. Thirst actually going to fall, so it's a 4v4 now. Cold Metal, if they don't finish this fast, they will fall victim to the respawn of Lilarius, but Speed, good for a kill onto the Genji. There's no tank remaining for Lilarius. Karam and Marja have both used their support ultimates. It looks like they've held on.
Tried so hard to kill Niz Widow, but just simply can't. And they can actually keep swinging now. Kyron's back in. Nade is good. Speed's going to grapple back, looking for more, but the backline have got it done. Pulse Bomb goes through, and they will be able to cap it in the end. Took him a little bit more there, Cold Metal, but Lilarius, because they had to use both support ults at the same time just to live and get out of that tough choke, they just left a little bit short in the rest of it. And now Cold Metal setting up forward. Chance to get their Widowmaker in a good position.
Blink and you'll miss it. Cold Metal, they did manage to close out that first point rather quickly in the end, but Speed, he's taken down Cloud. Again, Cloud is having such a rough one versus this Widow. Now we've got a scrap up on the high ground, and Meme Machine is the one to pop the rally. That's going to enable them to just continue pushing forward. They're already in a 5 versus 4 situation, but somehow, some way, Lilarius, they've clutched this one up immensely, taking down Kyron's suit, taking down Kyron himself. There's still a one-player advantage here for Cold Metal, but the loss of the tank is crucial. We've got Speed in the back, watching Cloud. For once, he will not secure that kill early on in the piece, and the WAF resting on high ground as well. But Lilarius, they might have just survived here.
Cloud pressuring out Speed one more time. They're really keen for that kill, but a great job from Cold Metal keeping Speed alive in a lot of these situations. The WAF is actually really low. Has the self-destruct if he needs it. Will need it. MSCG trying to run out of this one and survive. Remake is good from the WAF, and they can stabilize on this forward hold. For Cold Metal, they're keen to go, but Varana was stuck on the left, so the WAF will clean that up, and now Cloud has this Widow isolated. Not isolated at all, actually. Brig with them still, and they still can't stop Speed. Speed is still peaking on this. Should be so hard for the Widowmaker to get through these doors, but Speed just keeps getting away with it.
Speed cannot keep getting away with it, and yet here we are. Nano Boost available for Cold Metal for their next turn here, but already Lilarius, they've started to bleed some time off the clock. Less than 3 minutes remaining. As you can see, Thirst just fighting for a little bit of space up top, and Speed's actually going to make the move over to the Genji now. He's had enough on the Widowmaker. Nano Boost available, probably going to throw that out onto one of Speed or Kyron. As Cold Metal, they just keep taking space little by little, but now Margit, he comes in with the Kitsune Rush. They want to aggress. Ooh.
Blade over the back, defensive nano is good though from Cold Metal, straight onto Meme Machine, who nearly has that rally. Now they can push back. Here comes the rally, big bash onto him, but a counter rally from Karom, trying to fight this one back. Meme Machine is the one turning around, has to peel for their Anna, trying to keep MSCG alive through all of this. The bash comes in, hits both backliners, but the rally is trying to keep him alive so low. They get both kills in the end. Karom confirms. Noaf goes for the remake, looking for more kills as well, but can just turn around because Speed is behind, as is First, and his DPS are trying to clutch it out. First finds 2. Koala's able to trade it. Speed is still in deep. Kyron's flooding forward, but they've traded a lot of players here. Hard for Cold Metal to keep reinforcing this fight.
The trades are nice for Thirst, but they're not going to be game winning because Lilarius, they have this respawn advantage. We see now, again, Lilarius back in control, blocking the cart. A little bit of an ult swing coming on for Cold Metal, though, as Speed is closing on the blade, but Kyron might have over-aggressed in main, loses the suit, has to invest the bomb. Speed is going to deflect the high noon. Cloud is going to go down to the bomb parked on the ground, and Cold Metal are going to produce a 5 versus 3 from the most unlikely of scenarios. Now they're boxing in Lilarius' backline into a corner. They're pushing the cart. Lilarius, they need to get out of this corner. They need to touch the cart. Deep pushes, Karom goes down. Kiri TP's back onto the payload. Margit fighting for dear life. Sleep in the corner, not going to net a kill as Cold Metal, they're just pushing forward. Cloud and Meme Machine will be traded out.
Right.
MSCG closing on a nano. Speed has the blade. Surely can close out the fight. Not even going to need to use it in the end as Lilarius, they can't hold on any longer.
Nade will finish the job. How on earth have Cold Metal managed to do that? A bomb to open it up, a deflected high noon. Speed just seemed to get the drop there on Koala, completely unaware. And what seemed like it was going to be a bit of a struggle for Cold Metal on that second point, they get it over the line thanks to that one. Now onto third point, they have a Nano Blade and a Rally ready to go. Lilarius looking a little bit short on ultimates, but remember, they are the defenders. Any trade is good for Lilarius.
Any trade massively impactful right now, but a nano blade coming out. Speed already finds a kill onto Karom, and it looks like he's ready to slice and dice some more. Takes down Koala as well. Majid TP's away only to fall victim to Mean Machine. Mean Machine is the sole trade here. He don't have a rally, which could have helped them set up forward, helped them spawn camp a little bit more, but ultimately Cold Metal, they're still happy with this fight. One trade, not enough to stop the cart from rolling all the way towards the end of third. Much more impactful trade as Majid catches Thirst, though.
Looked like it was going to have to be a big ult trade there with Lalarius potentially having to invest for support ults, but an opening pick makes it a lot easier, and this Genji is in really deep, so optimistic from Speed, the old 1v5. No such luck, and Lalarius can walk forward, look for a few more stagger kills. Nothing to find, but they managed to stabilize without burning any ultimates.
No ultimates burned, which is an ideal situation right now. Only a minute remains for Cold Metal. They're closing up on a big swing, but Lalarius, they have 5 check marks up top. High Noon swing once again from Koala. Got to watch out that he doesn't catch the deflect this time around. You can see the layering so good. Now Majid pops the Kitsune Rush, trying to keep the fight going. Koala's going to be the first victim of the fight, though. So many ults being thrown in. Majid goes down as well. Karom, Cloud, they have their ultimates. There's a rally. There's a blade available. The blade is finally pulled, but Cloud is a victim. Karom now uses the rally, but they're back to spawn, and Cold Metal, somehow, someway, using only 3 ultimates versus 5, they've clutched out this fight completely, counted out every ult from Lalarius. Last chance here for Lalarius to touch.
Coming out to get the touch, there is a bomb in play from Nawaf. Remake does go through, but they've lost Koala on point. They need kills with Lalarius. They're desperate for him. Nawaf's going to move forward, but a nano onto a Brigitte. Now Mean Machine can just step forward, swing onto point. Nawaf has no choice but just stand there and tank it. Low HP, demect again, and Mean Machine will clean this one up, secure the full cap for Cold Metal. A few seconds to spare, but have to come back to that final fight. When you're the defenders, once you get to that point, you have no space to give anymore in terms of meterage. They had ults to mirror, but so slow on the trigger.
I thought we were going to see the blade pulled. Frankly, we had the Kitsune Rush and the High Noon that forced so much utility out of Cold Metal. They had to use Suzu, full Matrix, lots of shifts, so much utility. That really gives you the layup for a blade to pull the blade and start slashing through everybody, but instead they were a little bit too passive, a little bit too conservative. Remember, you need to understand that on third point, all you need to do is play for those trades. All you need to do is get aggressive, get active, and start trading out the backline. But instead, you saw a little bit too much concern for Lalarius as they tried to play their life. No blade pull from Cloud, no aggression, no push with the rally from Karom, instead trying to play life and using the rally far back. You don't get trades that way, and ultimately it cost them so heavily. Even with an ult advantage, they couldn't close out the fight.
Not possible, and a full cap. If you saw yesterday when we watched this Gibraltar, it was full caps for both teams and it went into overtime, so not over for Lalarius yet, but a big task ahead of them. Looks like they will be playing the Kiri Brig into the Ana Brig again. You see quite a lot of the interaction in terms of MSCG looking for these nade opportunities around the Matrix timing, but every time he finds one, it's immediately Suzu'd from Majid, and it's really neutralizing some of the impact MSCG can have in these neutrals.
More of the same here coming out from Lalarius. More Kiri Brig, Ana Brig again from the side of Cold Metal. But Thirst is going to go down very early on to Majed. Majed seems to have that dog in him when it comes to playing the Kiriko, getting aggressive, speed 75, under a lot of pressure up on the high ground. Wow, Koala getting incredibly aggressive, actually dashing up in front of everybody looking to close out that kill. Will instead fall victim to their own hubris, and that's going to be an equalized fight now as Cold Metal. They're standing up on the high ground, they're trying to block the car push a little bit, and you just got Speed beaming down from the top ropes.
Role reversal still going quite well for Cold Metal with Speed playing the Widowmaker and the Ashe now here on this Gibraltar. Just going to try and keep him pocketed on this high ground. They swing him from a couple of angles, so he back drifts. Now, Kyron stabilizing with him, but a bit of space for Lalarius if they want to try and get the cart underneath now.
Cart being pushed underneath, and that's going to be a difficult situation for Cold Metal. They can no longer heal underneath, which means that they are going to have to adapt their hold a little bit, need to give up a little bit of push. They need to block Lalarius' backline from getting through, but instead Thirst, no recall, no blinks, being chased out quite a lot. Surely that opens the door for Lalarius to keep on tapping the cart and keep on pushing it through.
Nawaf going to get naded. That's going to limit their progress for a bit. MSCG has this nano ready to go. Lalarius are pressuring the cart now underneath, getting it moving, trying to move Cold Metal's eyes in a different direction, give themselves an opening. But Koala's been left at the back here, doesn't make the rotation. Player advantage as Lalarius regroup underneath, looking for a pulse bomb opportunity first. Cannot find it, but they are stuck in the corner now. Lalarius might have to ult themselves out of this.
Already boxed into a corner, Lalarius. They do have an ultimate to get them out of dodge. Karom with the rally could push in if Cold Metal aggress too much, but you can see they're just playing slow underneath, and that is a difficult position to be in. Kitsune Rush comes out from Marjet. Counter dive is good, but the pulse from Thirst is
rally
funny.
chance.
Takes down a rallying Karom. Big anti in main as well. That's going to clean up the remainder of Lalarius here. And the time is starting to dwindle, Xavier. Already more than 2 minutes off the clock.
Looked like a great start for Lalarius. Nawaf goes for the dive on the high ground from one side, Cloud's coming up the other. Nawaf even hits the little boop onto the Ana as well, so MSCG is out of position. But the ults, they use them on point, but the pulse bomb undoes all of that rally. They try and use the Kitsune Rush to save it, but that is just more, well, good money after bad. And now they're going to have to do it from an ult deficit. Cloud nearly has the blade, but Mean Machine has the perfect answer in the form of that rally. Speed back on the high ground, gets booped down, but he can jump right back up. Eyes on this Genji and Lalarius. They are struggling. A self-destruct has been dropped. Rally comes out in response to this as well. But now there's an opportunity for Cloud with the blade. The rally's been used. As this expires, there's an opportunity for Cloud to go. Lalarius, they just need to stay alive until then, but Koala cannot. Now player advantage. Cloud still has a chance to turn if he wants it. They've actually killed the Diva here, so they can really go for this. First has had the recall force, looking for a desperate trade. Now trying to play life instead. They can push and clean up these kills, but this Anabrig surely can't get out.
Somehow, some way, Cold Metal's backline looked as if they were about to survive there, but no, Majed comes in with the swing, takes down Thirst, and now it's all Majed and Karom in the feed as they clean house. Cold Metal, their backline, not able to survive. Worthy of note, though, they're definitely going to get a recontest here, and it's not a dry recontest either. They've got ultimates to play with. Aggression from Speed 75. Going to cost them, though, as Thirst gets picked as Speed 75 actually will escape, but Thirst going down, that's a player that needs to be touching the cart.
Might have to use the Bob to try and touch it. They're going to swing around the corner, contest it. Bob comes through now. Kitsune Rush in response from Majid. But Bob is not on the point. God damn it, Bob. It's gone through. The cap goes through. The pulse bomb connects onto Karom while he rallies again, but it won't make a difference. They've got the cap. They got what they wanted. Hilarious.
Oh, what a mess for Cold Metal. It felt like there was a real recontest on the cards there, but Thirst pre-fighted Speed. Bob running off into the skybox. An absolute disaster. And now Lalarius, not only have they capped the point, they've done it without needing to use everything. Cloud, he's still got a blade. Nawaf still has a bomb. Kyron resuiting now up on the high ground, donating no old charge over to Cloud as he's already got the blade in the pocket. But still, Cold Metal, they've lost Speed. How has this happened?
Opening pick, and they want to take the high ground for themselves. Kyron's having to back it up, trying to regroup. Mean Machine on a bit of an adventure here. They're trying to stabilize in the Mega. They found Koala there. Both teams' formations all over the place here. Karom cleans up the Ana, but now Mean Machine stuck behind. No Mega, not a lot of hope. Trying to kite out main. Karom and Cloud have eyes on him both, and Mean Machine won't be getting out of that one. Diva behind, hoping for a trade, and Kyron's good for it. The trades are good. First Flood's in again. Gets the brick once again. They are able to try and regroup a little bit here, but these trades are going to favor the defenders, and Cold Metal can eventually stabilize, but it's very messy from both teams right now.
Very clutch plays coming out from Cold Metal. Their Thirst and Kyron both doing so much to keep their team in it. Cold Metal's backline went down very early on in the piece, but those trades are everything for them. And now, Cold Metal, they have position up on the high ground, and they have a massive bank of ultimates to just keep bearing down on Lalarius. Cloud, it's going to be so hard to get the blade off. He pulls the blade up on the high ground. He's on the backline, but MSCG uses the nano, the counter nano, the self nano perk. It's all available for Cold Metal, and Cloud just can't get the blade off. Waited too long. The Ana winds up being perked, and what can you do about that? Cold Metal, it's a clean wipe.
It's a very similar setup to what they had on first point, where Cold Metal, they just want to keep Speed in these power positions. Hard to dive, hard to engage with. Hilarious might have to rely on ults in a lot of these situations. They nearly have support ults to push with. The Kitsune Rush you can use to push high ground, but Rally significantly harder. They're going to try and go right side with their Diva, just get that in. A big nade connects as Kyron goes for a fly through. Can't find anything, but they've actually killed the Tracer behind. Now they can even start tapping cart if they want. Awkward for Cold Metal to contest. Kitsune Rush aggressively looking for this backline all over this. Anna, sleep is good. Rally comes through from Mean Machine. There's a Bob if they need it too. They might need that Bob. Genji behind. Speed dies with a Bob. Cloud finds a kill. Cloud finds a second. Rally coming back. Mean Machine trying to find a trade. Good for it
Trades
as well.
again.
Koala stuck on the low ground, but the cap, it's getting so close. Nawaf is still looking for this brig. Mean Machine under a lot of pressure. Nowhere to go, but Nawaf drops down, leads it. He has to pocket his brig on point. Karam again getting pressure. The bash is good, but not enough to survive. Nawaf still battling away. Has the self-destruct. We're into overtime. They need to connect. No, the baby falls. No remake. No chance. They get held.
Yet another disaster scene for Lilarius. It felt like they had all of the tools in that final turn. So many ultimates in the pocket, but they wind up going down with some of them. Sojin dead with the clock. Once again, a rally at the back end of the fight, invested a little bit too late, and the bomb, admittedly, that's one that's, you know, more for when you lose your suit, but still, with so many ultimates to play with, you hate to see Lilarius going down in such a manner. And now, this was the map they won yesterday. This was where they were able to turn the tides. Look at Mean Machine. He knows the situation that he's in. He knows the map that they struggled the most on. They have just won in dominant fashion. A 2-0 lead. You see the referees stepping up to him, making sure that he's not cheating with his sign.
No props.
Yeah, he could very well be dealing irreparable psychic damage to the opposition with that prop. So he's going to need to put that down. But still, Mean Machine all smiles. So happy for Cold Metal here as they take a 2-0 lead, winning their most difficult map.
Have to look at some of the choices there coming out from Lilarius as well. It felt like Koala had a particularly hard time getting involved. On Gibraltar, it's very different than a lot of the other maps because of the verticality. So something like Sojin, which is really picked for a lot of its survivability, not as necessary. And because Gibraltar has all its verticality, actually all of Sojin's mobility isn't as much use on the Gibraltar here. You saw it multiple times where Koala was just sort of stuck, wandering around, separated from the rest of their team. Nawaf, Cloud, and Magic trying to go on these high ground positions, but just leaving Koala out to dry. Felt like he had a really hard time, particularly on that attack, having the impact you want from your hit scan. And ultimately, it cost them.
Cost them so heavily, and now it is really a case of they've used their trump card. They've used the most powerful tool in their arsenal. The one map that they won yesterday, it has already been burned. The only consolation for them is that going forward, the Venture ban has been used. We know that Koala is extremely comfortable and confident on the Venture, and the Venture ban has been used on Watchpoint Gibraltar, which means that going forward, Koala is going to be free to play the Venture. That being said, Venture was counted out in multiple different ways by Cold Metal on Jang Tower. We saw the Pharah coming out. We saw Cassidy flashbanging with Diva Peel. There were multiple options for Cold Metal, and it felt like they had the Venture figured out. Even though they banned it on Gibraltar, it didn't feel like they were afraid to play into the Venture on Lijiang. So going forward, they need to be able to win flashpoints, push maps, situations where they will have to participate in the push and pull that we spoke so much about after Lijiang. And if they can't tighten that up, we could be in for a pretty quick series, Xavier.
Really could. Lilarius with their last swing in a reverse sweep situation. They're going to go for Espiransa, and they've actually started with a Tracer ban here, Lilarius. So protecting the DPS, protecting the Venture, protecting the May potentially as well if they want to lean into that. Obviously trying to target speed a little bit. First also got through a lot of work on the Tracer, but this does leave a potential Diva ban open for Cold Metal.
Yeah, the Diva ban could be disastrous for Lilarius. I don't mind the Tracer ban. It felt like they were struggling a little bit against the Tracer. Both DPS players for the side of Cold Metal pulling out the Tracer in different moments. And, you know, if both players seem comfortable to flex onto it, maybe you might as well take out a hero that two people are playing in the series. Kiriko ban in response actually coming out from Cold Metal. So apparently not interested in taking the Diva out of play. They want to take Kiri out. That's going to probably leave teams playing Lucio Bap for the remainder of the series. Backline's going to have a little bit more difficulty surviving, a little bit more difficulty flipping the map. But ultimately, Baptiste is a character where if you cannot master the push-pull, you can be in a little bit of strife.
Gonna have to fight for their lives now, Lilarius. No more room for error. We're gonna go to a quick break, and then we'll have the next map in this series.
This land is calling. This land is calling.
Welcome back, everyone. Lularias are fighting for their lives. 2 maps down against Cold Metal. Elimination game max. They have to find a way back, but it's so tough for them now.
It's such a huge ask for them. They're taking us over to Espiransa, over to a push map where they are going to have to master the push and pull that we've spoken so much about already. They've taken the Tracer out of play for Cold Metal. Tracer was giving them a little bit of grief on King of the Hill, on Escort as well, so it feels a reasonable ban for them, but really we're going to have to see a huge shift from Lularias if they want to turn the tides of this series. It is such a difficult ask when they seem to be struggling across multiple different matchups, losing in the dive, losing in the ground tank matchups, having lots of difficulty with their ult macro, big ultimate fights where they tend to be on the losing end of the trades, ultimates kited, beat push advantages not closed out, and you need to tighten up so many different things if you want to turn around a series when you're down 0-2 like this.
I was expecting maybe a slightly different path here for Lularias to try and lean into the venture more. We talked about sometimes how you can ban heroes directly, or you can ban heroes through your map choice. Maybe something like a New Junk City and a ban Pharah, a New Junk City and ban Vakas, and Pharah is pretty tough on New Junk City anyway, so you sort of ban the Pharah indirectly with the map, and then a lot of the big counters to venture aren't available. But they're going to go in this Espiransa direction instead, and we'll see if it pays off. Nawaf is going to be starting onto the Diva, and in many ways, Cold Metal with the Kiriko ban has forced them onto Baptiste, but this is going to be good for Nawaf.
Already not a bad situation for Nawaf, as he can get on top of that Baptiste, give them grief, dash up onto the high ground from Cloud, and it looks like Speed is going to be the first to fall actually, so a really good start for Lularias. They needed a strong opening and they've delivered it. Mean Machine also going to go down to Marjed, that's a 5 versus 2 as Thirst will also fall, and Cold Metal, they've lost car control, they've lost the first fight, and it's looking like no trades are going to come through. Kyron's on the run, might even go down late.
Call them the neutralizers, because they always seem to have a good start here in the neutral Lularias, but the key for them is these ult fights when it gets to a more push-pull, layered ultimates on top of each other. This is where they've struggled. It's a good start, but if they want to have success in this series, if they want to find a way back into it, they have to do well once these ultimates come online.
As soon as these ultimates come online, they can keep on pressing that advantage, but already Cold Metal are starting to push forward, looking for some positioning. They've got Kyron up on the high ground. That means Lularias, they keep pushing the cart underneath, but they've lost Karom up top. Already a 4v5 for Lularias. They're losing cart control now as Kyron just keeps on stomping forward, walking onto the backline. Marjed will fall, and Cold Metal, it's a clean retake for them. They concede a couple of meters, but they take all of the kills.
Lularias try to flip the map there, rotate and drop underneath, keep forcing the payload, but Cold Metal's comp is better at anchoring the point, so when Kyron drops onto that point, just stalls out all of Lularias' progress and allows Cold Metal to take the high ground for themselves. Would much rather have seen Lularias play to actually stuff that choke, hit him with a Diva, hit him with a dash through. Maybe you even get your window in time. Now it's actually Cold Metal coming up to a couple of these ultimates, but we are seeing a beat gap once again. Maybe it won't matter.
Apparently the beat gap isn't going to make much of a difference, because before Karom can actually get that faster beat online, Kyron's just going to go super high tempo, taking down everybody from Lularias with that Terror Surge, and now Lularias, this is where they really start to feel the burn. They had a great start and a strong advantage, and it has completely dwindled. Cold Metal, they've secured the checkpoint and that faster beat. By the time Karom is actually able to leverage it, Meme Machine might have his own beat online.
Lalarius' comp wants to be the more aggressive one. They want this D.Va and this Genji to connect on this Baptiste, on this Cass, on these key targets. They're going to start with a high noon to create a bit of space to Koala. They try and disengage first. It's been isolated. Lamp is good from MSCG, but now they are pinned in a little bit. Blade over the top from Cloud, looking for the finishing blows. Comes through, slashes through onto anyone. Good connect from him onto that. No beat in time to save them. And Cloud will be good for all the cleanup. They get the fight back. They get control of the payload, but that's checkpoint gone already.
Checkpoint already conceded, and Cold Metal, they're laughing all the way to the bank as a result of that. Lalarius, they're back in it. One fight win, and they will have their own checkpoint in the pocket. Cold Metal, though, all 5 members of their team have received the close spawns, and they have a beat Blade available. There's a beat for Karom as well that can counter outspeeds Blade, but no aggressive component. They do not have their own DPS ultimate to play with. The one thing that will be said, they're all stuck on low ground right now. The position for Cold Metal is very precarious. Kyron somehow finds a kill onto Cloud, though.
Cloud was in there. He had gone in. Nawaf was trying to help him, but Cloud was in so deep and just provides an easy opening pick. Now Cold Metal can walk forward, maybe try and do this one on the cheap, but Nawaf finds an important trade. That's no Blade. Now it's just beat versus beat. Lap comes out to keep Nawaf in the mech for now, and he can look for his next target. Cass right in front of him, trying to find a timing to go around this Orisa. They swing out. The boop is good. Beat comes through from Mean Machine. Karom has the beat. Just about gets it off. Connects on everyone who's still in the fight. Later beat in play, looking for the Baptiste. Karom can't find it. Terror Surge pulls him back in. They're all so low. Lalarius, their backline is weak, and Kyron getting it done again on the Orisa. Huge Terror Surge to turn that one in their favor.
You can see why teams have been banning out Kyron's Orisa as they are putting on an absolute masterclass here. So much work being done, so many clutch kills coming through. Now this is a tough fight for Lalarius as once again the cart is rolling forward for Cold Metal. They already have checkpoint, they already have close spawn enabled, and speed. He's got that Blade, no beat to respond. MSCG, he has a window, but look at this, an early kite as Marjed swings with the window, but it's a little bit too early. All of Cold Metal have kited inside. They're going to be able to repush now with the window, with their Blade, potentially turn this situation. Nawaf taking a beating. Koala caught out in main. It's Thirst pulling the high noon and swinging. MSCG pulls out the lamp, but it's already a 2-player lead. Bomb from Nawaf feels desperate, but it's good for 2! Nawaf! Somehow Nawaf has done it! A trade onto Cloud, but Cold Metal, they've let 2 players slip. Nawaf with a third. It's a 2 versus 2 situation, Xavier.
Nawaf still scrapping it out on point. He's stabilized this one. He's prevented any meters during all of this. The spawns are coming back. They're closer for Lalarius as well. Nawaf will get the kill on the Orisa, and Nawaf has done it all for Lalarius here. It was such a poor start. They used the window and the high noon at the same time. 2 ults to do the same thing, the same job. A waste. But Nawaf clutches it out with the bomb, and Lalarius, they didn't actually concede too many meters off that, so they are still right in this map.
Really, they do still have a chance to get back into this one. Such a clutch moment from Nawaf has given Lalarius a second lease on life. Cold Metal, they've got this Blade, they've got this window, they've had this Blade for quite a long time. Speed 75, really looking for an opportunity to get it done right now. But again, Cold Metal, they're playing from behind, they're playing from the low ground, looking for an angle. Kyron having so much damage taken though, and MSCG has to use the window just to keep Kyron alive. Nawaf is stuck in the corner, speared into the wall as well. They try to lamp them out. Karam has the beat, but doesn't even invest it as their D.Va loses suit in the corner, and nobody from Lalarius decided to respond.
They try and disengage that window, and they were fine to disengage that window, but it was a timing afterwards. Now the window's gone. You've got beat, you've got Blade. Let's get this trade going. Can we find a way to force an earlier beat, set up Karam for a later beat, or other way round can work as well? But Lalarius, a little bit of indecision costs them, and now Cold Metal with a much stronger position. All those beats, all those blades still in play, but now Cold Metal have a better position to start it from.
Cold Metal really do have a chance here as, again, they can swing the corner with their ultimates. They can park the bus on the corner and force Lalarius to make that first move too. Really, all of the choices in Cold Metal's hands right now, and it feels as if Lalarius, every time they swing with an ultimate, Cold Metal have been historically ready to kite back a little bit, to give a bit of space in order to take a counter push. You can see though, Lalarius, they're not taking the bait. They're trying to take position first. Genji flanking up top left. High Noon comes out from Koala, but Kyron, so good for it every time, spears out that high noon.
The WAF has forced for Lampin, but back if they keep going forward, avoids Ajax in there. Caron gets it off this time, but the Terror Surge for Blade over the top. It's still so much damage. Every ult being thrown in by Cold Metal. The bomb again from the WAF shuts down the Blade in the tail end, and Cloud still has this Blade. They can commit to this if they top up Cloud now. They're trying to stabilize around the WAF. Blade comes out. They're all right in front of him. First one is good onto first. Looks for the bat, but can't quite connect. Cloud has to slow it down here, but again, Valerius, they've managed to stall it out. Once they can get heals on Cloud and the WAF, they can recontest, but there's just no heals, so Koala dies late. The Baptiste push, MSSGG looking for the late kill. Lucio dives in as well. Mean Machine can't find it. They just about get away with that one, Cold Metal.
They've stolen it now, and look at the meterage, 90 on the point for Cold Metal. Window comes out from Marjed, but it's another opportunity for Cold Metal to kite around the corner. Another ult cheated as Cold Metal, they're sitting here waiting for their own opportunity to push back around. Kyron, he's making the enemy team swing into him, looking for his chance to go deep. No need to swing around the corner though, because Lelarius, they do not have the lead. They need to be the ones pushing. Speed has a bit of a flank right now, pressuring Noir from behind. Thirst pushed off the high ground by a flank. But now Lelarius, they need to be so careful that they don't have the map flipped on them. Lamp is thrown like a discus across the map by Majed, but the High Noon, it's zoning everybody, and it's Cloud to fall. A Genji for a Lucio trade, that's got to favor Cold Metal as they flip the objective around. They're stealing the cart. They've gained another 10 meters right now as the Terror Surge comes out too. This is a mess for Lelarius, Savior.
Kyron cleaning it up, looking for it, but Nawaf and Koala are finding trades. There might just be a way to stabilize. Kyron is pushing for more, can't peel for the Baptiste. Karom now has to carry his own life. Nawaf is looking for trades during all of this, and Nawaf is good for the cleanup. But now it's a 54-meter deficit, maybe even a little bit more as they have to clear Mean Machine off point. And all of a sudden, 1 minute left on the clock, Lelarius up against it.
Lelarius are up against a huge meterage lead now. Cold Metal, they've done such a good job stealing the cart, flipping the map, being very disciplined with their ultimates. It's very much a tale of what we saw yesterday, where their macro is so solid, good for the kites. Eyes on Nawaf as up on this choke. They're just hiding above on the Diva. Now they're going to turn off the close spawns, Lelarius, but they're not even going to have the opportunity to do it yet, actually, because Cold Metal, they're going to swing right in. Karom has the beat, but Mean Machine goes down. You can see Karom doesn't want to use the beat. Getting a little bit aggressive, needs to be careful that they're not caught out here, actually. If you're not going to beat push, you need to be very patient. You can see Cold Metal there on the retreat now, and Kyron in a spot of bother.
No cooldowns, 47 HP, and a WAF is there to finish the job. Koala from the top as well. That's 2 clean kills, and most importantly of all, Karom has saved the beat. We're going to head into overtime, but Lelarius, a really good ult situation.
A great ult situation and checkpoint enabled. Cloud, did they receive close spawn, Xavier? I didn't clock it, but either way, Lelarius, huge ult lead right now. They can't leave. The payload is the biggest problem for them. It does look like Cloud was close spawn, but the window comes out early from Margin. Kyron gonna pop the fortify, push over the window. Massive damage through the window from Cloud, but it's gonna be blade for blade. Kyron pops the beat. It's a better beat than Mean Machine. Second blade as well, but Mean Machine finds the first kill onto Koala. We're on the coast, it's a scrap, but Corona and Cloud will find kills. It's a 1-player, make that a 3-player lead for Lelarius, as they might just be clutching this one out in OT. 3 players alive for Lelarius. Close spawns enabled, of course. Cold Metal, one last desperate touch, and Kyron's Terror Surge to play with.
He's been good all series long with his Terror Surge, and he has one more chance to save it. You can see the yellow line. That's all Lelarius need, but they have to pick up their Baptiste from spawn. Majid even make an emergency swap, so we need to come back fast. Nawaf has the bomb, a battle of bomb and Terror Surge. Kyron's going to move on. Terror Surge pulls that Lucio in. So low, kills Karom, but there's a bomb in the back. Nawaf looking for it. Loads of damage onto Kyron. He's really with the kill, but speed and first are back. Nawaf back in Medfo finds the kill. All this pressure, Matrix for it, and they might just be doing it onto the Baptiste. The MSCG with the trade. Nawaf all alone, the Sopra's still here, he can't confirm the kills, they're all so low, the Moira is there, but Match is gonna fall, baby, the last one standing will fall. They got it down to 4 meters max, but they couldn't clutch out in that final fight.
Oh, Cold Metal, so clutch in these final moments. Kyron going deep early on in the piece, catching out the Lucio while their flex support is still on respawn, still rushing back into the fight. Incredibly close final map here, and Lelarius, a very respectable effort, getting it all the way back to a 4-meter margin after losing the checkpoint so early on. Look, at the end of the day, you can see Lelarius, they're not too crushed about this one. They are still smiling through the outcome. It looks as if Cold Metal are talking through the next map in the series, but the series is over, Xavier.
Yeah, just getting confirmation, I guess, from the admins, but that was 3 in a row. none of Cold Metal's games have really been that straightforward for them at all, but this one was their most convincing victory yet. And what a time to do it in this elimination game and secure themselves a spot in Phase 2 and a chance in that elimination bracket tomorrow to see how high they can climb in the rankings.
It does feel as if Cold Metal, I don't want to say that they've reached their ceiling as of yet, but every game from here on out is going to be a real slog for them. This top 8 becomes very competitive very quickly. In the early rounds, you already need to play against one of Falcons, Zeta, or Team Vision. Team Vision has definitely seemed like the more fallible of the opponents so far, already being taken to a map 5 early on in the piece, but the same cannot be said for Falcons and Zeta Division. Both teams having incredibly strong opening performances, 3-0ing on day 1 and looking ready to steamroll deep into the brackets.
Replays here, highlights coming through. Have to say, this actually probably felt like Cold Metal's best look here on the Orisa. Better in the macro, better on the kites, and Kyron was deadly on this Orisa, coming up trumps when they needed it time and time again. But you're completely right. It's going to be a much tougher ask for them tomorrow. They will be up against Team Vision, who maybe have a bit of a weakness as well on the Kiri Lucio. But I don't know. It's still Team Vision. It's still Violet. It's still Troy. It's a very tough ask up against Vision. So Cold Metal going to have a very tough game. And remember, Max, single elimination tomorrow, so no more second chances.
No second chances, no margin for error, and only the stiffest of opposition remains. Even Team Vision, even if they were taken to 5, had a little bit of a rough series versus Bright Future. This is still a very storied roster with some seriously heavy hitters inbound. So it is going to be a very difficult match for Cold Metal going forward. Tomorrow's matches, it's all to play for. These are the games that will eventually qualify one team through to the Esports World Cup. Hand a key over to them, and everybody else goes home.
Everybody else goes home. There really is only one spot. And as we get to the squeaky bum time of this tournament, there is no more room for error. Zeta Vision and Falcons remain the strong favourites. Vision have had a lot of struggles as well. Let's recap our groups here as we see confirmation of all these teams that have gone through. Zeta Division and Invaders for ones out of this. Zeta Division will be up against Group Force in their next game, and Invaders will be up against Falcons. They're basically mirrored with Group B, so it's the A and Bs versus each other here. So Zeta Division get to play Force, and Falcons, as we said, get to play Invaders.
Exactly right. Now, over in Group C, we do have Vision, who advanced through a very, very slim margin, and then Bright Future, who were able to pull it through a little bit later on in the piece after their massive scrap with Vision Esports.
Here's confirmation of the results we just saw in Group D. Cold Metal recovering from a rocky road and will get their spot through to the next round up against Team Vision. TFW, though, as they won the group, will be playing Bright Future. And really, that's probably lining up as one of the best looking games tomorrow. Confirmation of all of those matches as well. TFW versus Bright Future. Probably the two teams we've been impressed with most at the tournament. That didn't come in with some kind of tremendous reputation and all-star Korean roster beforehand.
Exactly right. I'd say that TFW Bright Future match likely to be the most competitive in the early rounds. Probably not going to be many surprises or upsets in that early bracket, but TFW versus Bright Future probably going to be a very close series. So a competitive first round early on in the piece, and then as we get later in, we're going to start to see those heavy hitters begin to clash. And eventually we're going to see the top dogs going up against one another from the international scene.
Falcons and Zeta very much expected to be those top dogs and meet in the grand final and playoff, as they so often do, for one final spot at the major. But it's single elimination, so anything can happen. You can't afford to slip up, and a few of these teams have really proved their worth, especially even teams that have struggled like Vision. You still look at the quality of their players, and you have to be careful with this, especially I may be looking at Falcons team, and they're on the same side of a bracket as Vision, and actually on these double flex support lineups, not a strength for Falcons.
No, not a strength. And I must admit, this is the time of the bracket where there's so much pressure. Even these massive overdogs that have so much experience in high stakes games, ultimately, they are going to wind up in a position where they know only one team is going to make it through. And to not qualify for the major would be absolutely crushing for them, Xavier.
is really all to play for. Single elimination. All those games are tomorrow as well. So if you want to go to the Esports World Cup, you have to win 3 games in a row tomorrow. Nothing else will do. That will be starting tomorrow. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the games. We'll see you tomorrow for crunch time, as we will be sending one team to the Esports World Cup main event.